Okay,
I'm excited that you told me about this because now I know about Zoom and I know about this one. And I didn't know that I could like use this to somehow stream on my YouTube and have people on. That's my problem. I haven't been able to do no shows with like other people on my channel because like I don't have the technology set up. Like I can do live streams on Streamlabs, but what sucks about the mud flood stuff is you can't zoom in on Streamlabs like when I'm out there. So this is what I've been doing. When I see a mud flooded area, right? Like I've lived in Boston my whole life, but like now that I'm gonna look like with these new eyes, like I look around and all these buildings that were there my entire life are like all of a sudden mud flood buildings, you know? Like popping up.
Oh yeah, you're in a killer place. I'm in the country, so there's not hardly shit out here, but you're in a wonderful place for it.
But so I like go and I scout out an area, and like what I do is I'll do like lately I've been doing like a 2-hour long live stream, and I'll just go around and I'll film whatever I see on the live stream, just real quick, just skim over everything, and then I go home and I watch the live stream and I look for the coolest stuff, and then if I see something really cool, I'll go back and I'll make a whole episode just about that one building or about that one thing.
Yeah,
and I go into depth more. And I've been like, I heard you talking about how you want to cover a whole city, like, and I thought that was really cool when you said that, because I never thought about covering a whole city. It's cool to like research a building, but a whole city.
I'm working on it. I've been held back from finishing it because of several reasons, but I'm in the process of working on it, and I have done the research. It's just a matter of putting it together in a video, and it's massive. It's
you might have heard me on one of my last videos. Like I was there. Oh, when I went to Harvard Square the first time, I was like, we need a mud flood team. We need a team of people to cover this. I was like, one man cannot cover this area. It's like an 8-block radius. The streets are all brick and cobblestone, mostly, you know, red brick and cobblestone streets everywhere. And the whole place is like, you can tell. And, you know, I don't know. I don't believe any of the narrative.
That's killer.
I was looking the narrative, questioning the narrative. We're going to question the narrative.
There's angels in our community that are behind the scenes that they don't want to watch what's on the mainstream TV. They want to see the content that we're trying to provide, but they also understand that we don't have the means to do it. And so they're trying to help us. And so I will tell you from my personal experience that there are people behind the scenes that are looking for people like you and I to help us. And so do your best job, do the best you can with what you got, but let the community know what your limitations are. And if you do a good enough job, somebody will find you, is what I'm trying to tell you.
I've pretty much been letting everybody know, dude. Like I've been recording music, you know, because I do a lot of different things. I do civil rights audits. I record music. So, you know, I record the music with my cell phone with no microphone and just some crappy sounding beat. And it sounds good because I'm a musician, you know? And I tell people, I'm the MacGyver smoker. You know, Half-Baked, the MacGyver smoker? He's like, he can make a bong out of anything. You know, he's like, give me a snorkel, an avocado, and an ice pick, you know? Like, yeah, like I'm the MacGyver recorder, dude. So I'm letting people know, like I do. I need a microphone. I need a computer. I need a bunch of stuff, man. But I've been doing my best. You know, I got a PayPal set up.
So you want to buck up your tech is the point.
I want to be able to do real streams like you, dude. Like, you know, you inspire me, man. Like, well, I first heard about your channel on a John Levi video a very long time ago. Like, I've been watching you.
I haven't seen that. He told me about that, and I don't know what he's talking about.
He's mentioned you a couple times, like Stuffed Beagle, and I'm like, I remembered the name. I'm like, you know, who's Stuffed Beagle?
He told me the same thing. I said, man, I don't know what I'd never seen. He goes, really? I was like, dude, I never saw it.
It's a cool name because it comes up in the search. Like I searched your channel, it came right up, and ever since then, like I learned stuff from you, and it's a trip because, like one day, all right, like one night you were talking about the grates, the lighting, and the technology, how they use great technology to shine light into the windows.
Yeah.
And the next day I was out and I seen it, and I never noticed it before, and it's always been there. And I
Yeah.
was like, there it is. That's what he's talking about. And it
Yep.
happens a lot with me and you. Like I noticed you have the same type of buildings that I end up seeing in real life. Like all the buildings you look at are the same. And I'm still new in this research and in this community, and I love everybody in the community. I learned a lot from Jen, Truth Seeker 69. She's great. She's like a teacher for me.
I know who you're talking about. I haven't seen a lot of her stuff, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
You should check her out. She's awesome. But
You know, you'll find that as you go along that you'll get busy to where the point where you can't watch videos. And so you miss a lot of stuff that's going on because you just don't have time to do that. And that kind of sucks because I would like to watch everybody's videos, but you know, I spend, you know, it takes 8 hours a week just to do a Muddin video. That's
it's
a lot of work.
A lot of editing and a lot of research, and you never. It's like you look up one thing and you never know where it's gonna take you, man. And then you could be researching that one thing for days, like chasing it. You know, like this. I could take this even further. They were saying that, like, all right, it's in the middle of something called the delta. It's a triangle, dude. I didn't look up the delta yet. Like, that's nuts, huh? It's in the middle of a triangle. You know, and
that thing is on
gonna be
Harvard
good. This
campus,
is gonna be good.
Right? That's Harvard campus, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of like off the campus. It's like right next to it, like in the cut, that building, that one building. But I went around Harvard campus a few times, and I haven't really looked into any of the buildings because there's just so much, dude. It's just so much. But they got the bells just laying around, dude. One of the bells has a story on it that says it was from a bell tower in Russia, and Russia donated it to them and like put it there. I'm like, dude, this was one of the bells that was in the technology that was in one of these towers right here, and they just put it there as a statue. And they have like 2 or 3 of them around. They look like machines. They don't look like a bell, like a musical instrument. They look like it's a piece of a machine, you know?
Yeah.
Like and they said that this place that we're about to look at was known for its harmonic frequency and resonance. And and there's a picture. All right.
Wow.
I know that. Yeah, there's one window up in the corner that I took a picture of, and it's George Washington, and he's wearing like Freemason gear, and it's in the stained glass. And I was like, why would they be a George Washington stained glass in a church? You know, like
I think George Washington was from the old world. I think they just took his story or incorporated him into our story. I don't think he was a figure in our time at all.
Well, in here they covered it up and said in the thing, and I was looking it up in the narrative. They're saying something about it, during the Civil War they used it for something, and George Washington, they were there or something. I don't know, something to do with the Civil War. But we'll go over it.
It's when you start digging into the narrative. I don't care what building or city or whatever you look at. When you start really digging into it, you're always going to find that anomaly, and you're going to be like, "Wait a minute, what?" And
there's so many in this
crazy.
story. And there's a hymn at the end, right? At the very end, there's one of the famous hymns that some guy sang during one of the reopening sessions, right? The last line, he says, crowned with the dome that is over us all.
Oh, wow.
Crowned with the dome that is over us all. I found that
cool.
Doing the research in this. You see what I'm saying? It's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I go out there, I get so excited, dude.
It's so crazy.
You can hear it in my videos, dude. I go nuts. Like I go out there and just go nuts. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, see, that enthusiasm is what we need. I just was wondering if anybody else saw what I was seeing, and people did. And I thought, well, damn, this is pretty interesting that people are actually listening for a change. You know, that blew my mind because I don't know how you're experiencing other people, but most people look at me around me and they think I'm a nut, you know, like he don't know what the hell he's talking about, and they don't believe a word I say about it. And so that's my experience, my experience around me. Like everybody around me is asleep, and so that sucks.
There's a
But then
lot to it, and when you explain it to people, they don't have the attention span to listen
of a
to it
gnat.
all.
No, they don't have an attention span of a gnat. You start talking in there, you see their eyes go off, and you know they're not even consciously listening to you. It sucks.
It sucks, yeah. But it's good to have people like you to talk to, like other people that do see it, because man, you know I see it, man. It's everywhere. So
Oh yeah.
the antiquitech, I've been paying attention to it. I've been studying it. Like I've been doing a lot of videos on the antiquitech, and I've been like looking at around my own neighborhood. There's houses with conical roofs. My town that I live in was like built in like 16 something is when it started. So it's pretty, old, and the houses are old. You can tell, and they're all mud flooded. But I noticed all the antiquitech on the roof. So I noticed this, like last summer, I noticed this crooked one that was hanging off the roof like this. And I was like, oh, it was an abandoned house. I was like, I hope it falls down. Every day I would go by, and some days it would be crooked this way. Some days it would be like that way. Some days it would be like, crooked different ways, right? So I was like, oh, the wind's blowing it around. It's gonna fall down. It's gonna fall down,
Yeah.
It's probably been up there for hundreds of years. That thing ain't gonna fall down. I realized now that thing was designed like that to look like it was crooked, to swing in the wind for some reason. You know what I'm saying? They took it down. I got a video of it.
Could be.
I got the before and after pictures. I made a video last week showing how it looked before, and now it's just like stripped down and it's just a pole sticking up. All those antiquitech have little pieces on them. I figured out it's not all one piece, like the thing sticking up with all the things hanging off. It's not all one piece. Those are all little pieces, because the one that they stripped off up there that I got on video, now it's just a straight pole. So there was a pole in the middle of it, and they took everything off the pole and I don't know, scrapped it or something. But man,
I think they came in and got rid of a lot of things. There was a crew of people that came through and just changed everything. They took things out and they changed the stairs, and they did all kinds of things. And now who these people were, my theory right now is the Chinese workers that were around in the time frame, but I don't have any proof. It's just kind of my theory right now. Instead of building the railroads, which we know were already here, they would be a perfect workforce to do that work. So
I got a picture of the first train ride in Boston. They showed it, and Boston was the first subway in the whole country.
Oh yeah.
And the train that they're standing on looks like just kind of like a thing like this, and they're like holding on, and then there's no sides or any roof. It looks so stupid. And I was thinking, they found that. They found that there. It doesn't even look like they know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
It's like a ride.
Yeah.
It's like an amusement
whoa.
park. That's why I think amusement parks were so popular back then, because everything was an amusement park. They had all this new technology, and it was like kids in a playground, and you let people loose on something and they just go crazy. What wasn't the molasses flood in your city?
I don't know. It rings a bell. I've heard of it before. I haven't looked into that yet. I will now. I'll look for things of it around. I'll look it up and I'll see if there's anything left like from it.
I'm looking it up now for you. It seems like it was in your city.
It sounds familiar. I might have heard of it growing up or something, but like I've been looking into all the Great Fires, man. I did a video on the Great Fire of Chicago, the Great Fire. Oh, there was one.
Yep.
I looked up
Molasses Flood. Here it is. The Great Molasses Flood, also known as the Boston Molasses Disaster, occurred in 1919. North End neighborhood of Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, I plan on going there.
What happened in that is that they had a big, humongous. I can't remember how big it was. It's a gigantic molasses container, and it busted, and it flooded the neighborhood and killed people, and they were covered in molasses. It was horrible. But when I hear stuff like that, I don't question, okay, what happened with the I don't look at the narrative, okay, yeah, this thing busted and it flooded, blah, blah, blah. What I look at is, what if they blew it up and were trying to destroy something that was there, and they used that as a medium to take down a building or something? I question that. So I would look into that from your perspective. I would look into that and go and look at that neighborhood and see what buildings were there prior to the flood. What got knocked down is the question.
Well, that neighborhood is the North End of Boston. The North End is where all the Italian immigrants came. The South Boston is where all the Irish immigrants went. So like the North End is all Italian. It used to be, it still is. But that's where Paul Revere's house is. I plan on going to Paul Revere's house because I heard it's really small and the doorways are tiny because the people were tiny back then. I want to go check that out. That sounds sketchy.
That reminds me of when I was a boy. I went on the USS Yorktown aircraft carrier, and I remember that the doors were really small. And I asked them why that was, and they said it was because people were smaller back then. And we also stayed on the Yorktown, and they had really small bunk beds that were 6 tall, and I'm tall, so I didn't fit on them. And I just thought it was really interesting that supposedly back in that time everybody was shorter. And I don't know if that doesn't jive to me. Like something's not right there. So I don't know what it means.
Yeah, because our research shows that people were bigger before. Like we've gotten smaller over the years. So I don't understand it.
I've contemplated that the ships, everything before 1945 is suspect. Okay. And now there's reasons for that, but if you see anything prior to 1900, I just assume that it was a mud flood. If it was built between 1900 and 1945, I consider it suspect. I think it's possible that they changed the matrix somehow, and they in 1945, and that what I'm saying is you'll find anomalies in your research. You'll find 2 buildings on the same spot that they shouldn't be there. You'll find 2 mud flooders or some derivative thereof in one spot, and you'll be like, it can't be it. It doesn't make sense. How could you have 2 things in the same spot? Not at the same time, but it's like you'll have a mud flood. You'll see a mud flood building, right? And then they'll tear that down, and then they'll build another mud flood building. It's like, how can you have 2 in the same spot?
I found a castle that had no sign on it. It has a really old fence around it. It's in the middle of South Boston, and it's like in the middle of the city, but it's like a really, really old rundown castle with like overgrown bushes growing out those top floor windows and everything.
Wow.
And then it's just fenced off. You can't get in, and it's down a huge slope, and it's just in the middle. It's like in the middle of the city, like in the middle of nowhere, and it looks like nobody owns it. There's no signs on it. There's nothing that says like "do not enter," and it's just. I was like, well, and there's like 2 of them in a row, like right next to each other. I might go back and check it out.
You know what you should do is hook up with the local urbex guys. You know what those are? Okay, urbex is short for urban exploration.
Yeah.
And if you'll search YouTube for Boston urbex or Boston urban exploration, you'll find channels that are dedicated to going to these abandoned places and filming them. And so if you can hook up with them, they'll take you to these places inside.
Yeah.
And you can get video with them, and they know how to get in and out without getting, caught.
I plan on going inside the Bunker Hill Monument, dude. I went up there already twice, all like 3 different times on 3 different episodes of my mud flood adventures. I went up to because it's right up the street, dude. I could hit it from a rock from my house. The Bunker Hill Monument. Like I live right next to Charlestown. Like I could.
That's where Cheers is that I did the video on, and Bunker Hill's right beside that.
I mirrored your Cheers video because it looked exactly like the type of research I've been doing, and everybody's been following my channel with that type of research and people from Boston and stuff. So I was like, I might as well throw that in for them to watch too, and then hopefully it would send some people your way.
While you're if you're up that way, if you'll watch the video closely, when I go down the street, okay, I start at the corner where Cheers is, right? And I go down the street and then I take a right. But on Google Earth, it would not let me go down the first street that is right behind Cheers. So I did not get that video. You might could get that video and see what's back there.
I'll go around there and I'll film every street. I'll walk up and down the whole place. I go there like all the time. I'm always there.
That neighborhood is insane. It was so
I know. Cool. That's where the Gold Dome is. The whole Boston Common. All right. I did a thing with Jen about it. I showed it. The whole story of Boston is, all right, Boston was a bunch of islands, like South Boston, Castle Island, and they had a landfill, and they filled it in and built the whole city on top of a landfill, and they built it in with horse and buggies, you know what I mean? They filled in like this huge like area of water with horse and buggies, and
that actually sounds exactly like the sluicing campaign they did in LA and Seattle, where they would take the fire hoses and they would hit the mud and wash it away, and then they transferred it via troughs and they took it to the coast and built the coast up and made more land. They called it a sluicing campaign or sluicing. And so that sounds like what they did there too.
So it's been going on everywhere. That's what I was saying when I did the research and I figured that out. I was like, they probably dug it out, dude. They didn't fill it in. They dug it out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or whatever. But it's probably been going on other places too, in other states. And it's just only when you're from the local area you learn about it, you know?
They did the same thing in Rome. If you look at there's old film of Rome being dug out, you'll see the Colosseum was buried at one time.
Yeah, there's this huge like obelisk over there in the Boston Common, and like I filmed it, and it's like goes way up. It has like all these Greek gods and all these crazy like Statue of Liberty looking things, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they do. One of them's
The
writing
obelisk.
scripture.
I believe the obelisk were part of the free energy system. I believe they were sucking that energy down and bringing it out, or they were transmitting it, or they were both. I believe it's part of the free energy.
It's crazy because there was a picture of it and it was still there. Like it's still there now, and it was there like in the picture like 300 years ago, and I was like, it's still there. Like,
have you watched my video on the Confederate monument in Raleigh, North Carolina?
No, not yet.
Okay. The basic gist is they took it down back during the Black Lives Matter bullshit, and they took this monument down. It was a 75-foot obelisk. And when they went into, they told you when it was erected and who erected it and how much it cost to erect and where they erected it and all the symbolism means, blah, blah, blah. They told the whole bullshit narrative, right? But they never once explained how they raised this monument, right? Not once. Then when they went to take it down, I got it on video. They brought in not one, not two, but 3 different cranes that were of consecutively different weight capacities. And they finally, the third crane they brought in, they lifted it up and they almost dropped it. And they had to drill posts into the side to get it to lift up so they could put the chain around it. But basically in around 1900 or 1890 or something like that, they supposedly lifted this thing in the air perfectly and set it down. But in 2019, we could hardly lift it. And so what I'm saying to you is go look in the history of that monument and see how heavy it is. Because then you have to question, well, how did they get it up?
I don't even think they dug it out all the way because it's on the top of a mound. You know what I mean? I think it goes down even more. I think the Bunker Hill Monument goes down even further.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
And I even have another crazy theory, but
because that's on a stupid hill, isn't it? That hill is just huge, right?
Yeah, it's Bunker Hill. It's the biggest, tallest peak in Boston. You know, and then
everything below that is mud flooded. So example, the way I understand it is you got Bunker Hill and you got the obelisk at the top of Bunker Hill, right? Yep. And then below that is Cheers, right? Which I've already proved is a mud flood. Okay, if you got mud flood down here and then you got Bunker Hill up here, you know there's something below that.
And all the houses going up Bunker Hill are like little mud flood brick houses that are like half dug out, like out the hillside and stuff. It's a trip. But I tried to get to the top. But if you look at the top of the Bunker Hill Monument, it's a pyramid, and it looks almost like a perfect pyramid. Like when you look from every side, it almost looks like one of the pyramids from Egypt. And then I had a thought: what if the pyramids in Egypt are the tops of obelisks that go way down? They haven't even dug them out yet, and it's just that pyramid from the top of the obelisk sticking up out of the sand.
Yeah, there's all kinds of theories. There's also a theory where there's the opposite of the pyramid upside down in there too. There's all kinds of theories about that. The whole narrative, people say, how did they get all those 2.5 ton blocks up there? I don't even care about those. I want to know how they got the 80 ton block in the center.
I don't know, some sort of 3D printing I'm starting to lean towards, man. They don't even build things like that ever. We can't do it.
No, we're dealing with something that's unknown. The best I can say at this point is that we didn't do it, and we didn't do it how they said we did it. And I think right there is the main point that needs to be made. And that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make with what I do, is that maybe I don't know how they did it, but I know they didn't do it. And if I can prove that, then, I've done something, And
they're trying to hide it now. They're trying to take everything down before we can get figured it out. They know we figured it out, dude. Like that house that I told you that they took it off the roof. I made a video of it on the roof, and I was showing it how it's like, different. And now I went back and it's gone. So it makes me think, did they see the video and they were like, oh, let's take that one off? Like it's an abandoned house. You never know. Like,
you never know. I mean, I think that they came in and they claimed what they thought they could use, and they tore down and burned down a lot of it. But then through the years, they've gotten to where they can't add electricity and plumbing and HVAC, and they can't keep the houses up, and they can't keep the taxes up because it's too expensive, and becomes a burden on even the elite. And so the elite are dropping these things like flies, these homes and these buildings, and they're getting rid. There's a Tartarian building that's about 5 miles away from me. It's an old hospital. And I've got the blueprints for it, and it does go into the ground, and they've painted it white, but it was red brick at one time. But they did an auction for it a couple years ago, and they had all these people out there where they're bidding on it, and nobody would bid what they wanted them to bid. And so they closed the auction down and didn't sell it. After the auction, a lady behind the scenes offered $10,000, and the city took it. And it's still sitting there unused today, boarded up. And they do shit like this all the time. It's such horse crap how they manipulate us and things that are going on in our world. But most people just turn their back and don't see it, and they don't ever question these things. People think, oh, it's logical. The person bought it for $10,000 and they don't want to use this building. No, they just don't want anybody else to use it. And they'll probably end up demolishing that building at some point.
I pretty much believe in the theory that everything is like a component on the computer board, like the computer board Earth stuff.
Yeah.
I believe it, because everything had a reason. The whole design of the building, I believe all the buildings used to light up. They used to self-illuminate. They didn't even need light bulbs. They had so much electricity, energy going through them that everything used to, the columns used to light up.
They had something.
And that's why, all right, if you notice, every city has a dome, one building with a dome, like a central processor. You know what I mean? And I seen Martin Leakey do something on it too. Jen
all have
talks
a dome. They all have a obelisk. It's all these key components that they're always there. Now, another thing is, if you look back in the history and you study, it's like when I was doing my Raleigh, when doing my research for my Raleigh video, when I wanted to do Raleigh because number one, because it's my hometown, number two, because I didn't believe there was any evidence there, because I lived there my whole life and I knew that I was like, I've never seen that there. And so I went to look into it, and what I realized is I don't know anything about my city. I don't know nothing. There's nothing. It's completely mud flooded. They either destroyed it or changed it or moved it. They moved. I don't even have a count on how many hundreds of mansions were in downtown Raleigh, and they moved them all out. They literally picked them up and moved them. Gone. Yeah. Where did they go? And some of them I have found, but most of them, they went down the road and never came back. And it's incredible. So my point is that telling people that, hey, look, just because you look around your city and you don't see much, don't look at what you see. Go to the history books. Go to the archives. Go look into the long lost information, the stuff they don't show you in schools, because there's things going on in your city you don't have a clue about. I never knew I had pavement light in my hometown. I did. It was always there. It's still there today. I never knew that until I found pavement light, and I'd walked on it before, never knew it, never even noticed it.
Thought it was like a sewer cover or something, for like a drain.
I thought it was just decoration or it never even occurred to me that it was actually a technology or there was something below it. Why would you question that,
See, I found some instances where it goes way down. I almost thought I
Oh
was
yeah.
going to drop my camera, my phone down there. I was like, oh, I better pull this away. It was deep, but
Yeah.
so
It's incredible. It's it's everywhere. It's man, it's so exciting. I've been doing this research not on mud flood, but on our world and what's going on and all the hanky panky behind it, and all that since 2008. But you can't do anything with that. Nobody cares about that stuff. It's all, nobody wants to hear any of that. Even the people that are researching that don't want to hear about it. And so this
yeah.
is something I can work with.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say it's funny because when I first started like looking at conspiracy theories,
Yeah.
it was like in 2016 when I first started waking up. I
Yeah.
started looking into the Mandela effect, and I thought that was cool, and I still do. And then I started realizing the Earth was flat, and like I started realizing all the fake things on the news, the whole news, the complete news is fake, all that's
Oh
fake.
yeah.
And then there was a kid like at the very beginning. I remember one kid that when I was like, I used to talk to him about conspiracy theories and stuff, and I used to tell him about Mandela effects, and he didn't care. He was like, dude, that building where that's the roof. He'd be like going off about mud flood, and I didn't know nothing like what he was talking about. I thought he was crazy. He's like, listen, man. He's like, that's real. That first floor right there, that's really the roof.
Yeah.
And he was like, forget about the Mandela effect, man. He was like, just pay attention to this. This is what's really going on. He's like, he was like pointing to all the bricks and stuff, and I was like, what is this dude talking about? It took me like 5 or 6 years to come around to that, and now I sound like that dude. I'm trying to tell people like the same shit, like, you know what I mean? It's nuts.
Yeah.
Like, look at all the bricks. People are like, well, who's this kid on YouTube howling about bricks all the time, running around Boston yelling about red bricks? But
yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, just for a silly question, you got the Michelle L name. Have you ever thought about doing a different name?
So listen to this, right?
What's the deal there?
Oh yeah, I want to explain it. So, all right, I started using my girl's cell phone to make comments on people's videos because I couldn't hold it in. I used to just watch YouTube, and like I didn't have my own phone for a while. I didn't really care about having a phone, so I didn't really try to get one. And I used to just watch YouTube videos. But then I wanted the comments, so I started making comments. And then I started going to the live chats. Then I started talking to people, and I told people who I was, and everybody liked me. So I started making videos. Everybody like dragged me in, like the whole community like sucked me in. So they're like really cool people, Everybody's awesome. So I was joking around, having fun every night, laughing my ass off because I have 2 kids and my girl, and all day I have a lot of bullshit I got to take care of. And then at night when I want to unwind, I used to just go on there and just like smoke and chill and laugh and watch research and joke, and everybody it was cool. So then my girl's channel, it was her phone that I was using, and I uploaded. I went out food shopping, and I did a civil rights audit because they were messing with me about a mask. So I recorded them, and I made like a 40-second video, and I was like, I want people to see it. So I looked to see if she had on her channel on YouTube. She had nothing. She had an empty channel, and I'm an artist. I make music. I was like, I could use that as my platform, So I just started uploading. I asked her permission. I'm like, hey, you care if I upload video? She didn't care because she wasn't using it. So I uploaded one video. It got a bunch of views. Everyone liked it. I uploaded another video. I didn't expect it to turn into a channel. I was just planning on uploading a few videos, maybe some music, whatever, here and there. But then all of a sudden, it started growing, and I almost got like 500 subs now. And I tried to change my name. That's the moral of the story. Listen to this. All right, my Odyssey channel is linked up to my YouTube. Well, it was linked up to my YouTube channel. So everything would just automatically upload to Odyssey. So everyone was like, change your name, change your name. So Michelle L has been coming up in the searches now. So I didn't want to, my channel's been growing. So I want to like keep growing. So I don't want to change the name and mess it up so it doesn't come up in searches. Right. So I was like, I changed it to Michelle, and I was testing different names out. I changed it to Michelle and Raymond, Michelle L and Ray, Michelle and Ray. Right. I changed it like 3 or 4 times. I was going to leave it at Michelle L and Ray. And then eventually I was going to change it just over to Ray once my channel got bigger. But what happened was it fucked up my Odyssey, man. It messed my whole it messed up my whole Odyssey. I went into my Odyssey and all my my videos said anonymous, anonymous, anonymous. And then when I tried to sign out and refresh it, it said you can't sign out because you don't even have a channel. Sign up. You need to sign up for a channel. I was like, what happened to my channel? Dude, I thought I was going to lose I lost all my followers. I had like 26 followers on there. It was new. It's still like it's still, now I only got like 6 followers on there. It's crazy. So, yeah, so it took me a while too. I had to buy all my videos back with the LBC and repost them or something. I don't even know. And now my YouTube channel still isn't uploading. And I wrote into them and they said they were going to fix it. And they never did. And it's been like a week. I'm going to write back to them. And it's like I have to upload every video myself now to Odyssey to get it to go up. So and it's telling me if I try to resync it, it's telling me I already have a channel, but it's telling me I can't. It's like, so I'm like, what do I do? Like, where are my videos going? Like, somebody's, like right now my channel's synced to something. It's coming up as anonymous, but. So who's getting my videos right now? I'm already uploading them myself to my new channel. So where's the old channel synced to? You know what I mean? It's almost like I was hacked and someone stole my videos. I don't know. I don't know what happened, But
anytime you start screwing with it, it can be weird, man.
Yeah, so I pretty much am just still kind of just starting my channel, like. But my Mudflood, I got like 28 videos, 29 episodes or something. Mudflood Adventures.
I'll give you my first. I remember my first experience going to your channel, and this is. Now you have to understand, I'm busy, so when I go to do something, I go to do it. I'm not gonna fart around with it. So you said, "Hey, check out my channel." I'm like, "Okay." So I go to check out your channel, and I'm looking for Ray, right? But then I get up there and it's Michelle L, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know this is the right channel, but who the hell's Michelle L? And I was so confused. I'm like, wait a minute, am I looking at this guy's channel or I'm looking at this girl's channel? And I was like, fuck it. And I walked away because I could not understand what the hell you had done. I know that's messed up, but that's the truth. But then I saw you later on and how you were coming in as Michelle L, and then I got it. It took me a while, but I got it. But that's why I'm asking about your name, because it screwed me up.
I don't know what to do about it now, man. I mean, I could change it and lose I might just make a new channel one day. But
okay, do you want me to play the video and you just go?
Yeah, and if you see anything that you notice that you say like you want to point out, pause the video. And we'll talk about it.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen, and let me know when you see it.
What's that? A Chihuahua? That's an awesome dog.
That's my attack dog.
I love dogs.
See. Let me know when you see.
I see it.
Okay. Is it playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is where I started out. You could tell this is Harvard Square, and there's like all these domes all around, like everywhere. There's more than what I could even film, and they all got gold, and they all got this antiquitech at the top with balls that look like it held mercury, and one of them looks like a weather vane almost, but it says like west and east, but I don't think that's a weather vane. I think that's some sort of technology, and
well, it could be both. Yeah. Okay. Just my observation, I see it spinning. It's probably an old ether finial, but it's also a weather vane. And so the reason it's spinning in the air is to show the direction of the wind. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's now, that doesn't mean that it's not part of the of the ether technology. It just means that that's a real common thing. It is for the weather vanes to spin.
Yeah. Sorry.
So that's probably what that is. I see a church.
Mm-hmm. This is called like one of the first churches around, like first something. That's the one that has the weather vane, and it has like an arrow. It looked like from a bow and arrow, pointing one way, and like a west and a east or something going the other way.
Yeah, they'll have a north south usually too. Those are real common. But it could be, that could be technology too for the ether. It could be dual purpose. There's no problem with that. But I would say the spinning motion is the wind direction, and so I wouldn't. I would guess that that's not part of ether technology. The spinning part, at least. That's just my opinion on it.
I noticed that they look like almost like flags, like the thing on the top that spins, but it's metal, you know. So I found a bunch of buildings like that, and I was just trying to show that they were actually spinning. So I made like a few clips of them spinning, and there's a few more during this thing that. See, I went through this town through Harvard Live like a couple weeks ago, but I couldn't zoom in on anything, and everybody was like, "Zoom in! Look, there's the cobblestone. You see right there?
Yeah,
there's still cobblestone. All the streets are brick."
Wow, needs paint job, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, this one was run down. This is the oldest, crappiest looking one in the whole place. And there's a graveyard next to it, and really old graveyard that I went in on a different episode, but that's a whole other.
What is that building called right there? Is that Harvard?
That is Harvard, yeah. I'm not sure what the building is, but that's like Harvard Yard. Like when you walk into there, that's where the campus is, like where all the buildings are. So it's within like you'd find it if you looked up Harvard. It's like a square, and there's like all domes in a row. That's the name of that building was right there. That's why I filmed it on the sign.
Okay.
But so then this next one that I'm walking, I was showing how it's like a red brick. You know, I was like, follow the red brick road. It's a red brick road, like, and it goes down, and this is going into Harvard, like more like where everybody lives and where, like, you know, the dorms are and things like that. And up there, we're walking up to a nice one, a really nice one that has antiquitech on the top. It's like a huge, I think it's a dome. It's big. It has a clock on it and everything. There's so many of these around there, and it's all brick. Everything's brick around there, and or cobblestone, and it all has symbology. I found some really weird symbology on some of these buildings that I don't even know nothing about. Some of them, I found one that it's Athena on the roof of a building. They say
that goes deep right there.
There's a lot of Athena stuff around Harvard for some reason, and a lot of Greek gods and stuff. They look like Greek gods.
Yeah.
Who knows, you know?
But a lot of, I see mud flood windows there on the side, the right.
Yeah, the grates, man. Every building here has those type of grates that go down to windows that go way down. And I seen it in a video that you did about how they had like reflecting like type of glass in there. And I started looking just to see if there was a window down there, and sure enough, there is a window under all of them. And you know, and then they have windows that are bricked in right there. You can tell
those have been covered up right there. That they're hiding something there, no doubt.
Yeah, and definitely that's so sketchy looking, but. And then I looked in here.
Yeah, it's sketchy to us, but to the average person, they look at that and they don't see anything out of the ordinary.
No,
you know,
like
and I see window coming up here. Looks like a window down there.
So far. You probably can't even tell how far that goes down, but I was afraid.
It's 8 to 12 feet down.
I was afraid that my phone was going to fall down there, and I was going to lose my girl's phone, and she was going to kill me. But you can see
that window. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
And there's
That's
even,
crazy.
if you look further down, I could see there's even like pots down there that look like there was another door or a window down there that they covered in further down under that window. So it's like goes floors and floors. It goes like 4 or 5 stories down, dude. Some of them.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All around that whole place. That's like all the windows. I took pictures, and then I didn't want to take too much time on one thing, so I just started moving on. I wanted to get this one because that one was beautiful. That big one I'm walking up to.
I mean, look how silly that construction method is right there. That is just absolutely retarded. There's no reason to build anything like that. That's silly. Why would you do that? That's ridiculous. I mean, you got the window below ground, which the water can get into. You got easy access for a burglar. It's so insecure. You have to put a bar, bars on it, and then you have to put a grate over the hole because you're afraid somebody's going to fall in. I mean, it's completely retarded. There's no sense in that.
It looks like having a saw cover up against your window.
Yeah. That right there is a flat earth asterisk. You see that window right there?
Yep.
That's a flat earth asterisk. You just double that on the bottom and it's a flat earth asterisk.
It kind of looks like the sun setting on half of the horizon, like how it's
That's
supposed
what they
to look.
and that's what they call it. They call it a sunset design or something like that. It's not the sun though. It looks like the sun, but it's not. It's an asterisk.
Yeah. They're always hiding everything right in front of us.
Yep.
So yeah, I have a shitty camera, but I tried to get the best photos I could because I like having my own stuff. I like looking stuff up, but it's cool to do the boots on the ground. But you see how it looks like a flag on the top?
Yeah.
But it's metal. That thing spins around. They got the ball there. And I don't know. I feel like the wind has something to do with the technology.
Now, that could be, a wind direction, but without the north, south, east, and west, it could be that it had mercury in the ball. And you know that when if you'll see on my videos, I show the mercury being poured in the bowl and they put the electricity to it and it spins. It could be that when the mercury is spinning, it spins that, little flag thing around, which could increase the ether production or something like that. I don't know. Just an idea.
All the ones around there are spinning.
There are people out there that are actually studying this kind of stuff, and they're the ones that you would look to for those answers. See, that looks like a wind catcher. This whole the bottom half, the I don't know about the top piece where the cupola is, but the cupola below the cupola, it looks like
a whole bunch of them on these buildings here. There's like 4 cupolas in a row.
My guess is it right there that some of that could have been at one time part of a wind catcher. That right there, that looks like a wind catcher to me.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. These like when I was standing there and it was right in front of my face, I was like, these buildings, they're so beautiful. Like, how could you not want to just take out your camera and just film it?
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, this is like going to take a lot of research for me to do this. So maybe I should get some help. And then I've been watching your channel a lot and you seem really smart. So I was like, I'm going to bring some of this stuff to Stuffed Beagle and see what he thinks, So it works out. Yeah. Now we made it happen. It took a lot.
You see those balls right there on the columns? I think that those are some part of the technology of the old world system. I don't know. I see those all over the place. I don't know what they are, but I see them a lot.
Yeah, I see a lot of stuff now that I noticed. Like there's this one over here. I'll show you when we get over there. When I walk over there, there's like it almost looks like flower pots, but I'll show you, man. It's weird. I don't know what they are, but it's not a flower pot. It's made out of stone, and it doesn't have any flowers growing out of it.
That could be capacitors.
It's part of the whole design. I'll show you. Coming up over there, there's a guy and his body is a horse. He's a horse body with a man with a man, half horse, half man, whatever they call that, and the horse's arms are missing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember. Those are tourist fields up there on the columns. More windows down there below ground. I mean, it's totally flooded out. I mean, there's definitely something going on there. No question. It's everywhere. Every building.
Every building there it's for blocks, dude. I got tired. My cell phone battery died during the stream when I tried to live stream it. I went there 4 times. This is the best video I've gotten and the best footage I've gotten for you when I went there last time, because I already knew what to look for. The first few other times I went there, I was kind of like going in blind. I didn't really know. Now I know exactly what buildings to film, what angles to get.
Yep.
I noticed it's better to do it on a cloudy day. For some reason, the videos, this was a cloudy day. It doesn't look cloudy, but when you do it on a sunny day, you can't get a good picture from the ground.
Just a suggestion, you might try talking to some of the groundsmen at Harvard and see if they can get you some inside shots in the basements.
I was talking to one of the groundsmen at Harvard, actually, and he saw me filming the top of the building, and he was like, "What are you doing?" Like, he didn't say, "What are you doing?" but he came up to me and was like, "How you doing? Like, can I help you?" Like, he didn't say it like that, but that's his attitude. So I was like, "Oh man, I'm filming today for a project, And how the college kids are always filming for projects. I was like, I'm filming today for a project.
Yeah.
So then he was like, "Oh, what are you filming?" And I was like, "The top of that." And I started telling him, I was like, have you ever heard the term antiquitech? Because they're supposed to be like educated and really smart at Harvard. So,
no.
And they're like the leading scientists and leading doctors and everything, right? So they should know what antiquitech is. They're living in it. So anyway, I was like, "Wake the fuck up, dude. That's technology." And he was thinking about it, the groundsman. He was like, "Yeah." He was thinking about it. He was like, "You're right." And he's probably thinking, and this was before I even knew they spun. He was probably thinking, them fucking things spin. That dude is fucking right.
Yeah, the educational system is just designed to teach you what they want you to know. You got these people, they're very educated and they know a lot of shit, but that's all it is a bunch of shit that they've been educated on. You have the power to be a hell of a lot smarter than they will ever be able to be, because you have the mindset to be able to look and learn whatever you want or feel needs to be learned. And so when I was in school, I didn't do well in school, but I taught everything I learned after. If I wanted to learn it, I went and read a book, or I looked into it. I watched a documentary. I learned what I needed to learn. And so it's not about intelligence that you have. You can't go, "Oh, I didn't do good in school and I don't have intelligence." No, I didn't go to Harvard. I'm not. No, bullshit. They're not intelligent. The Harvard students are the idiots. Okay. Seriously, we are the future, not them.
Yeah, they always come into my chat and they're like, "An educated person would never say anything like that." Well, just because you're educated, you think you're better than me? Is that what you're trying to say?
An educated person knows to shut their mouth and not say anything like that, because they've been told not to say anything like that. That they will lose their credibility. Yeah. You and I started out without being credible. We don't have any credibility, right? We have earned credibility. Okay. Yeah. We didn't start out with it.
It takes time, man. But I've been doing some serious research on the mud flood stuff, man. I love it because it's all around me. And I love it because it's something that you can actually touch and feel. Like the cement, it's right there. The building, it's right in front of your face. When I go there, I can touch that building. It's not just something I'm looking at on the computer. It's real. It's right there. Then you can look up the history and you can see what's going on. Like, you can read between the lines. None of the history lines up. None of it's right, but you can read between the lines. Like, I'll show you on the history.
It's not one building. You look at one building and it's like an anomaly. But when you get 20 buildings, 50 buildings, 100 buildings with the same horseshit narrative, something ain't right.
It's because there's too many buildings for them to cover it all up, and we're catching on too quick. And you know they're working on it. They're still covering them up. Look at this thing. I've got awesome pictures. Look at that. That's the whole thing from like top to bottom. I had to take it in sections because I was so close it wouldn't fit. So I took it from the top up.
Yeah.
You know, top down. Hey, look, it has the columns there. They have these big columns. All the buildings there. There's so many columns. Every building has columns there. Every building. I didn't even bother taking pictures of the columns because now this
that thing's incredible right there. That what is that?
Memorial Hall Sanders Auditorium. So they turned it from into an auditorium, and they don't even tell you much about it. But I found I looked it up, man. I got it right there.
You got ether fencing on the top there,
and they spin up at the top. So I got a video of them spinning. I took pictures. I went around the whole thing. I've been there a few times, but this time I got really good pictures. So it was
that is incredible.
Okay. I found some crazy stuff out. Memorial Hall, north of Harvard Yard in Cambridge, Massachusetts, is an imposing high Victorian Gothic building honoring hard men's sacrifices in defense of the Union during the American Civil War.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't look like a Civil War building. It looks like a church, dude. It looks like half a church with I don't know, dude. A Gothic church. Anyway.
God.
A symbol of Boston. Listen, it's in Cambridge, first of all. That's not Boston. Cambridge is the city right next to Boston, right? So It says in parentheses, so this is a quote, a symbol of Boston's commitment to the Unionist cause in the abolitionist movement in America. Well, if it's a symbol of Boston's commitment, why isn't it in Boston then? You know what I mean? Yeah. Boom, baby. So
is that rose windows on that thing?
Dude,
it looks like rose windows.
They're blue. Most of them are blue and white, but they're really nice, dude. But I got pictures of it from the inside, and there is rose windows because from the inside you can tell better. They look nicer. The pictures I got coming up.
So this was a memorial hall, a theater.
That's what they're saying. That part of it was a theater. And then listen to this.
You know,
in World War II.
That thing looks like a church. I mean, what are they talking about? A theater? I mean, in any other place that would be a church.
Okay,
that would be a cathedral. You tell me that was never a cathedral.
Listen to this. In 1932, the clock's driving works and the associated 155 bell clapper were all right. They had some problem with the bell. Hold on. No, that wasn't it. World War II, man. They said, all right, basically they said in World War II, that during World War II, the military used the basement. There was a lab. There was a laboratory in the basement, and they used it for acoustics. They were suspected of doing acoustics experiments. And if you think about it, right, in that TV show Fringe, that dude, Walter Bishop, had an old lab in the basement at Harvard in one of these buildings, and he reopened his old lab. That's the building from Fringe, dude. That's the building that they mentioned where the dude has his lab, dude. Because he said it was.
That's a flat Earth asterisk right there too. That rose window right there.
Beautiful.
That's an asterisk.
So I heard a theory that, all right, like these windows, for instance, they have one of them. I'll show you in the back has a picture of George Washington in that window. So that means when this place was built, it didn't have windows. People are saying that. Well, I heard that it was open for the sound to come out to make the whole thing work, to make the whole computer board Earth work and everything else. So they come in and put the windows in to stop the vibrations, to make the whole thing stop working, like to make the whole component stop working, because otherwise it would still vibrate certain frequencies easier. So they come in after, the Masons come in after and put the windows in to try to make it stop working.
That's a wind catcher. I think that's a wind catcher right there.
Yeah, that's amazing. I was looking at that. I was like, can you go up there? It's way up in the sky. You know, when you're down there, you're looking up, you're like, whoa. And I'm like, and it there's like different like stacks to it. And I was like, thinking, is there a way up there? And how could I get up there? I want to get up, and you're right. I want to go up in one of these buildings and film what it looks like from looking out from like way up. You know, that would be
Talk
cool.
to the common man. Talk to the workers. That the workers are where you need to go. If you go through official channels, they're not going to let you do it.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm going to be able to get into the Bunker Hill Monument, though. I got to just call and talk to the ranger about it. That's all I got to do. I just didn't want
to find the bar where the janitor works. You know what I mean? And buy him a beer. You know, you got to go. You know,
go to under the table.
Yeah, because they're never going to give you permission to do that because they don't want you to see that.
I was filming that. I found the graveyard with John Adams, John Hancock, Samuel Adams, and Paul Revere. They were all buried there down there where you're talking about near Beacon Street, right on the corner. There's a graveyard there. John Hancock, Sam Adams, and Paul Revere. All their graves are there. I was like, I was just mud flooding, filming around Boston, and I walked in there and it was there. And I was like, are you serious? And there was dudes there giving tours, like for the Boston Freedom Trail, and they had like dudes dressed up in like old hats and like from back in the day and like looking like pirates. And stuff.
There's I don't know if it was in Boston. There's a church that I was looking to somewhere that had a graveyard underneath the church.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it might have been in Boston. You might want to look for that and see if there's anything there. Because that was really weird.
Man, well now that we got this connection, you can like anything you find that you want me to check out in Boston, just send me an email about it, dude. And
there's a Phoenician shell right there. You see that?
Yeah. That's amazing. That's why I took it. I could tell there was something. There's so much stuff there. But yeah, man, anything you want me to investigate, I'll be your boots on the ground in Boston, dude. I saw you show a lot of stuff from Boston. So just point me in the right direction, dude. If you have a lead or something, just send me an email. I'll go there. I'll stake it out, and we'll do another show about it, dude. You know what I mean? We'll make this a thing, dude, because we need more researchers pooling the research because it's a lot for one person, dude. And look at these guys' faces in the thing, dude. So, and look at that. It's like a dog head. It was way up high. I couldn't get a good picture of it the other day because it was too sunny. But you
could do a whole video just on this one building.
I know. That's why I brought it to you, Beags, because it's a lot for me, man. But I found it, and it says here that it's the number one standing like example of a Gothic Victorian church in the whole country right now. I found it in the. It's gonna come up, but yeah, man.
Is that that's a slate roof? It looks like.
They said that half of it. All right. There's one part where it's like a regular slate. You're talking about the regular roof, right? On the other side.
No.
Yeah. The smaller piece.
The top there. I'll show it to you if it comes back up. Well, there's an example. Well, that's not a good example.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I have the whole thing. I looked up the whole construction and everything, dude. I'm just a little disorganized.
Like right there, is that slate roof right there, or?
It looks like that piece sticking out which is strange to me. It almost looks like a haunted mansion up at the top.
Can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Okay, exactly right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. It's like a slate roof sticking out. Yeah. It's weird. Or it was painted to look like that. But no, it looks, that's the top right there. And you see the cones on the sides and stuff with the balls and all that little tech on the side right there sticking out, all the little nods.
Well, I was watching a video recently on a contractor who his company bought a Victorian mansion, and they were going to They were going to redo it, restore it, and modernize it for modern amenities. And one thing he mentioned was that the roof was in really good shape. They had to do a little bit of work, and it was made out of slate. And he goes, "Yeah, once we get done, patching up a few things here and there, this roof will last another 100 years or more." And I was thinking, wait a minute, who the hell has got a roof that's lasted 100 years or more? And that just stood out to me as technology.
Well, this says consisting of 3 main divisions, one of them a theater for academic ceremonies, another a vast refectory covered with a timbered roof. That's what timbered roof, hung about with portraits and lighted by stained windows like the halls of colleges of Oxford.
This is the timber roof right here. This piece right here, this will be the timber roof.
Yeah. So basically when they found it, it had no roof, right? And they put that shitty timber roof on that pot to make it so it had a roof. It was probably missing a roof. It was probably all messed up when they found it. Like the great fire photos.
Or it's just part of the narrative.
Yeah.
It could be, you can't take what they say, literally. Sometimes, they may have found a timber roof that the shingles weren't on it, or they made up this narrative. But it could be possible that roof was always like that. That's a possibility. Even though they say it's not, it's possible that it is.
I'm just trying to see when they're saying they actually built this building. I think they're saying they built it in the 1800s, dude. Like 1860s. That's
okay.
Crazy.
What's the name of the building again?
Memorial Hall Sanders Auditorium at Harvard. But this building is nuts, dude. It was it's a castle. It's a friggin' castle, dude. Look at it. It's a castle. It's in the middle of the city, but it's got a bunch of buildings around it like it. But this one seemed to stick out to me with all them faces and all that. The Freemason George Washington in the window in the back. It's coming up.
Let's see.
Yeah.
It's construction between 1865 and 1868.
Come on, man. Do you believe that 1860s they built this? It looks a lot older, right?
And that is right after the Civil War. So I mean, come on, people were not building this way right after the Civil War. It's
No, I don't think so. It doesn't look like to me that's we don't even have things like that now. If you look at the way the bricks are, all the different color bricks is like yellow bricks mixed in with the brickwork, and it's all so intricate. And there's blue bricks. There's baby blue bricks there. I don't know if they painted it, but and there's red bricks, different color bricks lines. There's dark, deep red bricks in there. There's some lines that are deeper red. They're almost like a crimson color or whatever they call that.
That's a phenomenal building. That really is. That is a jewel. I can't say I've ever seen that building. I don't know if I have or hadn't. I may have. It looks so much different in black and white. It
depends on what angle you look at it from too, because there's that other building on the side that's attached to it. This whole thing looks like a Victorian hotel. And then that looks like a church, that part. And then if you go to the back, there's another one of these windows with more stuff. And then you got this side that looks almost like with the faces. And there's all this, Roman numerals. This guy, Demosthenes. They said these are people that fellows from the college that helped start it out in the very beginning. Fellows. It just sounds like Freemasons to me. I don't know.
You know what that looks like to me? It looks like somebody came in there and banged, a new head into something that was already there.
Yeah, exactly. They decided over it, right? Exactly. That's what I thought too. The head is.
It doesn't look original to me.
No, when they first built the building, those weren't there. But they probably took the heads off of a statue that they found broken, mud flooded, and just cement the head in there and put a name under it.
Yeah.
Because they probably found a bunch of broken statues with like just the head hanging off. They're like, all right, what are we gonna do with them? Cement them to the top of that building. No one's gonna know the difference.
And we didn't. And, you know, they've had us fooled for a long time. They, you know,
Yeah,
we've
now
been,
we can see.
yeah, we're
They
waking
were
up now.
laughing at us with the heads in the dude. With that shit, they were laughing at all you Harvard people should be ashamed of yourselves. If you go to Harvard and you didn't notice that, you guys need to look. There it goes, right there. You see George Washington on the right
Okay.
in the window.
Yep.
That's George. You think that's George Washington or what?
Looks like it.
Right, with a gun. And then the other dude looks like a judge to me. He had on like a type, like the white hair, and he looked like he had a judge's robe. You see, I went a close up.
Yeah.
And that the one on the right looks like George. What are they doing in a church stained glass window? They were Freemasons, so they must have the Masons must have did the glass.
Dude, see, now you see that big door right there? When you see a big door, do yourself a favor and wait for somebody to walk in or walk beside it, or get a picture of somebody near the door so you get a idea of how big that door is. Because see right there, you can tell it's big, but you can't tell how big.
I usually take a picture of myself near the door, but it was just I was in a rush, and I was across the street that day trying to get a really good shot, and I never see somebody coming in and out of this place. It's always like dead, like nobody's even really there except for the back side where I go. You can see people. There's always people coming in and out of the back, but not this side. This is like
see, that's a porthole right there. That right there, that would be part of the ventilation system for the wind catcher.
This building is just. I can't believe I found this. I had to bring it to you, Beags. I was like, if I make a video, maybe like 100 people would see it. But if Beags shows it.
Had you seen this building before you woke up, or
No.
Okay.
I've been there. I've been to this building like 3 other times, but every other time I just couldn't get good pictures. I don't know why. I came home. I uploaded what I got, but this time the conditions were right, dude. My camera, because I went there in the summertime and there's a lot of haze in the city. And when you're trying to take pictures through the haze, for some reason it looks clear to you. But when you get home on the camera, it can't see it. It's all foggy. And I noticed that happened on a lot of my videos over the summer. But now it's been getting like nice and cool. And it was cloudy that day and there was not a lot of sun. It was right.
You should look into a gimbal.
Yeah. I know. I'm gonna get one. Definitely. I'm on that. I need a gimbal, but I'm shaky as it is, man.
I couldn't do it either.
It's tough, especially when the building's real tall. But look, even that building has the grates, dude. That's the building. It has the grates.
Yep.
That one has it too, and it has windows underneath, so it goes down. And then I show on the other part how low it goes down because there's steps going down, dude. Right? Or coming up. But yeah, look at that. There's windows down there. Like that one looks like they filled it in. Some of them have bricks in there, like they filled it in, but it goes down below.
It's so ridiculous to believe that you would do it like that. How in the world can you design that beautiful a building and then make the mistake of putting your windows in the ground? It doesn't add up. 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4. You know what I mean?
I wonder when you go in there how many basement floors it has. Like if you can go down 2 floors underground or what, you know. But back, you can see how you can get a sense of how high up it is, you know. And then I noticed even that antiquitech, the little things on those have the same flag-looking things. Oh, that's Athena. I read it in here in the narrative. They said that's Athena right there in the window tying something. Look, there's those shapes, right? The resonators, like
I see those a lot.
Yeah, they filled them in. They used to just be holes, and they used to like resonate frequencies and sounds. And now they filled them in to block them off. See how low that goes? That goes down into the basement. Look,
that's low. There's definitely a floor down there. I mean, I don't know what would be below that, but you know, you don't know until you get inside. But
I know.
getting
I'm gonna try
inside,
going.
you know,
Look,
it's hard to get inside these buildings into the basements. That's the key is.
Look, it looks like a porch up there, like a patio. Like, would you like? Can someone go out on that patio? Is there like? Can you have a cookout up there? Have like a band come play? That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I hit the wrong button.
It's all right. Look, whatever you could do it. Whatever you gotta do. Yeah, that's
what I was looking at. I was trying to pause it. I know
right.
you're here.
It's not what you're used to. You usually can zoom in on and like have you have your pictures are awesome, dude. Your stuff is awesome, man. I love it. You zoom in and you can just see it.
That fencing right there is an ether fencing, and it's just another way of harvesting the ether. Now that they would, you know, make the case that it's protective fencing when you're climbing on the roof and blah blah blah, but it's decorative, blah blah blah. Yeah, it is decorative. Yeah, it might help people from falling off the roof, but look, it's too short, number one, really, to prevent anybody from falling off the roof. And it's really, really decorative, and it would be really, really expensive to put that on there. And you know, ether could be collected with it. So, you know, that's part of a technology. That symbol, that right there, that diamond, that is a symbol. Right there, it looks so. You know, people will look at that and they think, "Oh, that's a pattern." It's not a pattern. It's a symbol. It's an as above, so below.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Diamond. The diamond design. It's all in the brickwork too. It's not like that's not painted. That looks like different colored bricks or something they put in. Maybe it's paint, but I doubt it.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it could be.
Up close, it looks like real brick, like dark colored brick.
Like wait a minute, let me go back to that. They took something out there, it looks like.
Yeah, there's so much on these buildings. Yeah.
Right there. They took something out.
Right above those things that they filled in. They probably filled those in. Those are probably open. And whatever that was, it almost looks like
it looks to me like this whole thing right here was an arch. And they added this.
Yeah. The whole thing is. I tried to go up and down the building as slow as I could because I know how it is now. You miss things. And then I go home and I see it and I'm like, oh, I got to go back and catch that. And then I go back to the same building again and I got to do it all over again. But it's good because I got a whole bunch of coverage of this so far. But there's even more stuff in Harvard Square that I haven't even covered yet. It goes on for like blocks and blocks. But I'm also planning on going into Chinatown in Boston. There's some parts in Chinatown where the buildings are like Japanese and Chinese, but they're really old. Like they got dragons and stuff. I'm gonna go check that out. That's gonna be cool. I'm gonna go to that spot around Beacon Hill and where Chairs was and look all around there.
My thinking with Chinatowns is that they were the living quarters for the Chinese workers that came in and changed all this stuff over.
I'm gonna go and check it out. I'm gonna go investigate it. There's also in South Boston, there's a fort on Castle Island.
There was that thing moving. Did you see it?
Yeah, I got it moving.
See it?
Yep. These ones are going fast. Boom. It looks like a flag, but it's a piece of metal. Yep. I was pointing to it like, look, it's moving. Because that's what I want to get moving.
You know, okay, here's an interesting thought. Okay. If it was a wind directional device, it would point with the wind, correct? Right? The wind would blow, it would point in a certain direction, right?
It'll probably stay that way to let you know this is the way the wind's going, that way.
Okay, but you would agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the wind blows, it turns a certain way, right? And would you say that every one of them works the same way, that the wind blows, it would turn a certain way, right?
Yeah.
Right?
They all seem like they do different stuff to me.
Exactly. If you watch it again, notice they're all doing different things.
Yeah. I don't think it has anything to do with the direction, north, south, west, east at all. I don't know what it is, but I think it has some, who knows, man. It has something to do with the natural grid system of the Earth, man. The natural, like, magnetics of the Earth, whatever it is. The magnetic force.
That is really cool. I've not seen that before. I think that's definitely something new. I think that I've not heard anybody talk about, but you know,
it blew my fucking mind when I seen that, and really I was like, I need to bring it on with Beags, man. Dude, this show is awesome. This is like a dream come true to me, dude. This is like hitting the lottery being on this show, dude. I can't believe that I'm on with Stuffed Beagle, dude. Like, come on, man. Like, I've been watching you for a long time. This is awesome.
Dude, yeah, but dude, I'm just a dude. I'm just like everybody else. I'm just interested in the research. We're all, it's like when I got with Levy, it was we started talking immediately like we'd known each other forever because we're connected to this research, and we're just people.
I look forward to my John Levy video every Saturday night, Sunday morning. Around that time, I get it. Every week, man. I love him.
Every Saturday night. Yeah. I usually watch it on Sunday mornings, but yeah, it's amazing.
Voice is relaxing. It relaxes me. It makes me feel like.
Oh yeah, like, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he'll put you in the zone. I'm more like
I want to try his coffee. He's selling coffee. I want to try. I might get some. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm more like a freight train. I kind of run it at full bore. I don't kind of like a smack upside the head as
Look at the very top, dude. It's like almost like it looks like a porch. Like how someone would come out on their who would go up on that thing anyway? Like that's way high up, but it looks like a patio with fences around it. Like you'd sit up there with have a dinner.
That's incredible. That is a. Can you go to the other side of the building?
This is the back of the building right now, with this window right here.
Okay.
This is the back. The other side was the front. There's one of those windows. This is a different one. This is a different one than the other one we were just looking at.
I got you.
This one's on the back. There's one on each side. The rose window. That's a different rose window.
Mirrored. I did notice it was green on this side. I thought that was. I thought maybe
a different color and everything. Yep. And then this building's right behind it. Look, and it's like this one. All the other gold domes around are really gold and shiny. This one looked old and tattered. Like
that's a copper dome. That's actually technology too. The copper domes were part of the free energy.
And this one's right next to it. It says it's like a Vietnamese church, but there's nothing left of it. It's like ruins. There's nothing there. No. And there's a bell still in the top with the tech. That's tech.
Yeah.
And over here, look, they have a lion, right? A creepy ass looking lion that looks like a werewolf, half lion.
That is weird.
Yep. And then over here, there's look, these dudes look like Satan, right here. These faces, and I took pictures. And then there's one up at the top.
It looks like a sub rosa right there. That means keep your mouth shut. Whatever's said here stays here. It was a warning.
I see that a lot, a lot of the buildings. But look, you see up at the top.
I think these are capacitors here.
Yeah, those things look like flower pots. That's what I was talking about.
The vases, I think they're the capacitors.
What does he look like? Satan, right? Or a vampire? And that one looks like
he looks like Satan to our mindset, but that would actually be considered a demon. Satan was a made up figure by the church, so this would actually represent a demon.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, something they really saw. And then that other guy with the half horse body with the horse legs and chopped off, dude. What is that doing on a Harvard University building? And why aren't they teaching the students about it?
Yeah, that's
look at that. He doesn't have no legs. Like his leg is chopped off right there. His arm. The horse's arm. And then look, that's Satan. or whatever. Yeah, it's a demon, but yeah, they just put demons in their buildings. That's cool. And that thing is tech. These are all the buildings like right around, like in the back of the other building and beside it. I was just like doing a circle, and I was just like taking. I didn't. Everywhere I go, it's like more and more stuff, and I run out of space on my phone, and I gotta like, I don't know. It's a lot. Look at this guy. This was up in the middle. What is that? He has like a headdress.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking it was the Phoenician lady from a distance, but when you get close up on it, it doesn't look like that. I don't know what that is.
It's a face, and you can't tell it's a face unless you really look. When you're there, I was like, I didn't notice that. I went there 2 other times before, and I looked at this building, and I didn't notice that one in the middle there until the last time I went. And I was like, oh, there's another one. They're like, they blend them in so good.
Yeah,
like,
they really do.
It's hidden in plain sight until you shine a light on it and you notice it and you show people. And then look, Griffiths right here on this building.
Yeah, that's an old ether light right there.
There's 2 of them.
Yep.
And then this thing looks like a coffin. I see those a lot too on buildings and everywhere. Like not that, but the one next to it. It looks like something you'd bury someone in.
Yeah, that's a griffin. That would be a Tartarian symbol right there.
Yeah.
And you got the shell for Phoenicia, the Phoenicians here.
Yeah, this building, the artwork seemed a little different than the rest of them for some reason to me. So that's why I stopped. It was like it seemed like it was done by a different artist or something.
Well, the way I look at it, from my point of view, is that it's different, like different countries or different groups coming in and having their buildings. It's like when you go to, imagine you go to a different country and you go to the American embassy. It's going to look different than the African embassy. You know, it's like a different building for a different group. So yeah, the artwork's different because it's a different group. Even though it was old world, there were different groups, different peoples, and I think they had different artwork, and that's how they, you know, they didn't have big old signs that said McDonald's. They had a symbol, and those symbols told you what that building was. Like they would see that Phoenician shell, they're like, oh, okay, well that's, you know, got to do with Phoenicians, you know, and then it would have something else here. See, this is what we did. That architect, that right there, we chiseled that crap in there, but it probably had something else there. You know, not a wording. It probably didn't have wording, but it probably had a symbol or something there that showed them, you know, what that building was.
Yeah, I seen them do it. There was one brick that I seen that had like some really old numbers in the brick, and I could tell it wasn't the address of the street or anything. And I took pictures of it, and I went back, and it was chiseled out of the brick, dude. Like they chiseled the old numbers that were there for like hundreds of years out of the brick to cover up wherever it came from or whatever. Put their touch on it. I don't know why they did it.
That's incredible artwork. That's
yeah. That to me, that guy at the top looks like a sunflower with a face in the center. Like that's what it looks like to me. A sunflower. It looked like a sun, but kind of like a flower. So I figured sunflower. And
yeah,
this stuff right here looks like tech. Like, look, all right, so that's a Griffin, whatever you guys call him, Griffin. I call it Griffith. It's Griffin with an N. So, yeah, and then right next to him, there's like little like poles. Watch, I'll show you. It's coming up, and they look like. Look, there's one of those lights. I took a picture.
Yeah, that's an ether light. That's an old world ether light.
Who are these people? Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know that.
They have a weird headdress. You see that? You see what he's wearing on his head? I never seen nothing like that. The guy on the bottom and the guy on the top. The head dressing is very strange. And it looks like there's tech on the sides where they have like little staffs. You see that thing where he's like, it's a staff almost. Yeah. And there's another one. Like it almost looks like it's a blueprint for technology. Like it's trying to show you, you put this piece together with this piece and it makes that. Watch. It's coming up. I took a picture of it, and that thing looks like a coffin with those flowers.
I mean, you know, each one of these flowers could be a symbol, a different symbol. You know, that right there is a flat Earth asterisk.
So it's a language that they're talking in using flowers. It's like, it's probably, yeah, they're probably using it like every symbol probably is like a letter, you know, to them, or a word. But yeah, these ones on the side here, you see this long one? It's coming up right there. Boom. Look at it. It looks like it's tech. Like they're trying to tell you how to put a staff together or something.
Yeah, and I would, if I was you, I'd figure out how to get on the get into the Harvard digital archives. Now they may have it set up for it's students only, but if you do some research and maybe befriend somebody, you might be able to get in and look.
It's funny because everything I try to look up from Harvard, I can't find anything before like the 1850s, you know, and maybe even a little before that. But everything there, all the monuments and everything, I see the year 16 something, erected 16 something, 16 something. So the history must go back to the 1600s. So why am I only finding like 1800? I can't find before that. It's like when Harvard was established, it seems like that's when they started the history. They don't tell you what was going on before Harvard was there. They basically tell you everything that happened from when Harvard started and beyond. So it's hard to find out anything before Harvard. That's what I've been looking for.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah, it's clever. It's like the another example of that would be the Bronx in New York. I believe the Bronx was old world and it was there, and they say it wasn't built till later, and I believe it was all there. I think they just left it out of the narrative.
Yeah, I believe that they added a fake 1,000 years. Sometimes it's an I, and sometimes it's a J, and sometimes it's an X. It means in the year of our Lord. But yeah, you see on the left right there, that looks like a staff. It looks like some sort of technology, or maybe a tower even, like they're telling you what they, like almost like blueprints. Like, look, we put all these pieces together and it makes one of those towers,
do you know the difference between the old glass and the new glass? Have you seen that before?
Not really.
Okay, go when you look at old glass, you'll know it because it's kind of like it's not clear. It's got waves in it, and it's you'll know the difference when you see old glass. You'll know it's old glass. It's not clear. It's not it's
like smoky and melted almost.
Well, it's when they poured it, it would have inconsistencies in it. It would have ripples. It looks old, but you can tell. The reason you want to know what it looks like is that when you're looking at these buildings, that you'll be able to tell if it's an old world glass or a new world glass just by the type of glass they're using.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The glass that's almost like uneven, like they poured it or something. I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yeah. I'm gonna look for it.
I'm sure you've got a lot of that around. Matter of fact, a good place to look for that is on these old homes where they're historical homes, because they will have to use that kind of glass in order to do remodels. It'll be a historical part of the restoration process. They'll have to use historical glass.
This summer, I plan on going on some of the islands. There's like a few islands near me, like that are part of it. And there's forts and old stuff on the islands, and I'm gonna go do some mud.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got star forts out there, don't you?
I think so. Yeah. They said Castle Island is a star fort. Yeah, Castle Island is a star fort. I'm going to Castle Island, dude. That's the part of South Boston that they reattached, and it's not an island at all. It's not an island. It's South Boston. It's part of the city, and they call it Castle Island. Look at this bell. It looks like a piece of machinery. I filmed it. I took pictures all around. It's like it's huge. It's thick. It probably weighs, I don't know, 1,000 pounds. Ridiculous. It's like they probably couldn't move it. They had nothing. They just put it there. I took a picture of what they say it was, but it was definitely one of the bells from one of those towers. Yeah, that's what it says. Can't really see it from here, but it's there. I don't have the big screen on, so I noticed on the big screen.
I'm trying to get it done to where people can read it.
It's all right. It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
1926.
That's on the back, and that looked like the Harvard symbol right there. But I see those wreaths. That wreath that's around there.
Yeah.
Like
the laurel leaf of control.
Is that what it is? I see it on all the buildings, like in the cement, and I'm like, those don't even look like plants, wreaths from plants that I even recognize. Some of the flowers don't look like flowers I recognize. Like,
yeah.
Like,
Martin talks about that a lot, the laurel leaf of control. Yep.
Yeah, the plants bug me out, though, because I'm like, where are these plants from? I never seen a flower that looks like that, or a plant that looks like that, or it's like, if they really weird me out. Like where is this place from? A different world? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where did I walk into? The Twilight Zone? Yeah, this talks about the stone. The stone from... Yeah, it tells you where they brought the stone from. They quarried it from like 100 miles away or something. I don't know. It says something like that. Something ridiculous.
Settled in 16. Well.
So yeah, these are just I think I was taken off towards the end here, but then I put a bunch of pictures of the inside of that building.
It's really difficult sometimes to tell what's old and what's new because they've facaded over so much. There's a scrubbed cartouche.
Yeah, this is an oyster house, but look at how beautiful it is. And what is that thing? That looks like I call that the magic mirror, that circle thing.
Well,
I see that everywhere.
For whatever reason, they call it a cartouche. Oh, okay, it's written on, so they banged something into it. But I call it that was a scrubbed cartouche. It had something on it originally, and then you got the Phoenician wave right here, and that's a fleur de lis. So they say that's the symbol of France, but it's not. It's an old world symbol.
They use that for the Boy Scouts too, right? That symbol of France thing. That's the Boy Scout symbol. They told me that when I was younger, I was in Boy Scouts when I was a little kid, and they told
that. Yeah,
symbol of France, and it was that symbol.
Yeah.
But yeah, those things are nuts. I see those. I think they look like magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? That's what it looks like to me. Those round things, chartreuse, whatever. But I see those everywhere. And then that just looked really old, and that was really old. It was just next to a house, and I was like, it was an obelisk. So I was like, I took a picture of what it said, but you could tell it was real older than everything else. It was tattered and whatever. It was very old, and they probably just put that in there somehow. But yeah, the Oyster House has a lot of cool designs.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
And then I looked up the whole Memorial Hall, and I just put all the research there to show, I really do the research. I don't just walk around and just, sit on my ass and take pictures. I look the buildings up when I find really good ones. When, I look up the architecture, it's all there.
It's a process. You find something and it's you got to dig into the building because there's so much more to it than just looking at a picture don't tell you a lot.
It's good to have other researchers that are willing to listen and look at your research with you, because it's a lot for me to handle a lot of this stuff, man. But because I'm new and I'm just diving in. I'll go for like the biggest, craziest building that I see around, and I'm like a little dog going after the big dogs. You know what I mean? And I'm winning though. I've been winning on a lot of my videos and a lot of things. But yeah, this is the inside of the to show you how it looks on the inside. It looks beautiful, dude. It's coming up. I got good photos coming up of the stained glass.
And don't forget the smaller buildings too, because the smaller buildings, they won't hide the truth as much as they did on the big buildings. So you can find out, you know, little tidbits of information just by looking for those. Because, you know, they just would not cover it up as much, and they left a lot exposed.
Yeah, because there's no one paying attention to the small building. You know, nobody cares about it, so they'll just leave it alone.
You know, look in areas where it's like if you look at the Bronx was, if you look back at the old the films of the Bronx before it was you know, torn down, a lot of it back in the 80s, the Bronx was absolutely amazing. And that, you know, they were demolishing it, trying to get rid of what was there. But you know, if you go back to the old neighborhoods, the places are run down, a lot of times you find some of the most amazing things.
Yeah. I had a friend who was kind of from the Bronx, the South Bronx, and he was old school, and he was really cool. But he used to tell me all kinds of stories about the Bronx, and the buildings are really old there. I've been to Manhattan before. I went to Manhattan. Manhattan, the buildings, it looks like Boston. Parts of Boston look like Manhattan. But, man, it's so much bigger, and the buildings are so much taller, and it smells way, way worse than Boston.
Yeah.
So I tried to find the most, like, oldest photos I could find, and I really couldn't find too much. And these are, like, the oldest looking ones, and some of them are from, like, the 1800s, and some of them from the 1950s. But, like, this one looks kind of old because the street looks messed up. And there's that car, I don't know what that is. Like, there's one with a horse and buggy coming up.
It is an amazing structure. There's no doubt. It's incredible.
Yeah, I did my research. I think I did my due diligence on this one.
You know, find out where try to find out where the bricks were manufactured, and then go research the brick manufacturer. You know.
Yeah, that's a way to get them, huh? They won't think that you would have thought of that. The brick manufacturer, they're like, oh shit.
You look at the architect, and then you go, okay, well, supposedly this guy designed and built this building, and then you go look at what else he designed and built in the same time frame, and you look at those buildings, and you put it all together, and like, wait a minute, he couldn't have done all this at one time. There's no way.
Look up the brick manufacturer, and you realize it's like a fake company that never existed. And you're like, there was no brick manufacturer. Fuck you.
Or they'll, like, you know, one thing that the trick they like to do is they'll say, okay, this building took 3 million bricks and it was made by this brick manufacturer, right? And they think they've got their tail covered, but then you're like, look into it further and you see all these other buildings that were supposedly made with the bricks in that same time frame that came from that factory, and the factory can't do a quarter of what they say they could do. So, you know, you have to add it all up.
Nothing that they've been telling us about any of this stuff makes sense, and none of it adds up. The populations don't add up with the time zone and the need for the buildings. The streets aren't as nice as the buildings. They would have nice streets. The signs are just slapped right on, painted on the side. When if they built a building that nice, they would probably build a nicer sign. The doorways, look how many steps lead up to that doorway right there. Like, why would you need that? I don't know.
That's incredible.
You see that? That's the delta. You see how that was a triangle right there? They said that this whole building was built in the center of something called the delta, and it's a triangle of streets that go around the building, a perfect triangle to go around this building. I didn't know. It might be a star fort from the top. I didn't see it from the top, but, you know, it could be a triangle part of a star fort. I don't know. But this thing is built in the middle of a triangle.
I don't remember. Does it have a clock in it?
Not this one. I didn't see a clock, but I didn't see one. But there's a lot of that do have clocks around there.
No. Wait a minute. Where's the building at?
I didn't see a clock when I was there.
Where's the clock at?
I think there was a clock in one of the pictures.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're right. I noticed that. Now that you said it, when I was making it, I was like, this picture has a clock, but there's no clock there.
Where's the
You're
clock?
Right. I don't know. It was there. I seen it in a picture. I just threw them all together.
They changed it.
Yeah. Part of it looked like it was missing too on that picture. I almost thought it was a different building for a minute when I seen that picture that you're talking about. And I was like,
Well, I started thinking, well, wait a minute. I don't remember seeing a clock. And
yeah, and I was thinking it might be a different building, but then I looked at it and it looks the same. But
there's a clock. That's a clock. That's a clock. There's a clock. I mean, there's no question there's a clock.
Yeah. So what happened?
Where's the clock?
What happened to the clock, man? What? I don't know. I heard that a lot of the times we put the clock there, but just to cover something else up.
Why did we take the clock out?
I don't know.
You know, this is what you got to look for. You got to look for how they change the matrix. You know, they change things, and if you have to look at the old pictures and the new. Matter of fact, I would go and look at the old pictures compared to the new building, and look at the stained glass and see if the stained glass is the same, because that's something they like to do too, is change that.
I know. You're right. Yeah. So this, I got it from across the street, and you could see, right, where I was at, the highway goes underneath a tunnel there. So, and the highway goes down like probably 4 stories, 5 stories. So this thing is like above a tunnel system, right at the edge of a tunnel system.
And you kind of have to reverse engineer it. Okay, if we now know that this was a clock, okay, we also know that they had to redo this shingling. So this is not original either.
It looks too nice to be original. If it stayed that nice color, I don't know. It would be amazing if it stayed that color.
Well, it can't be. It can't. You've already proved it. There's no clock. There was a clock. Now there's no clock. Matter of fact, if we go to the pictures of the old pictures, okay, that's a newer picture. And then,
hello. All right, sorry, man.
Look how different that is.
Yeah,
it doesn't even look the same. It's not even the same.
You see how the roof looks greener? Like this.
Well, okay. No, let me stop you there on that. Is what this is a postcard, okay? Mm-hmm. And what they would do is they would take a black and white photo, which if you do your due diligence, you'll find this photograph somewhere. And what they would do is they would send it off to a company that would then paint the picture, and they would colorize it, and then they would sell postcards of this print, okay? And so these colors are not accurate. They are what the artist decided to put on there. So you can't go by these colors. And also, a lot of times they would add the leaves on the trees. So these, if you'll go back and look at the old photo, if you can find this photograph, look at the trees too, because a lot of times the trees will be bare, and they'll add the leaves in too.
You know what I noticed about the trees? I did notice something about the trees around that area. That whole area, they have this certain type of tree that's real tall with like these certain branches where when you're on the ground, you can't really get a good view of the roof. So when you're walking around, you have to, like, for me to get a picture of the antiquitech on the roof, I had to like go in between certain trees, and I could only get in certain angles because if you notice in a lot of my pictures, there's trees in the way. Even a lot of the pictures I took, because look, you see, the trees are just in the way. It's almost like it's done by design. Like they don't want the kids to look up and see what's on the roof of the building. Really, they don't want them to pay attention to it. Just
it looks to me like it's hard to tell, but it looks like that window that we're seeing could be there, and the clock is under the window, but I'm not sure. And if that's the case, it could be the window is okay. Let's look at it again. The window or whatever this is right here is at the top of the roof. Okay, so let's go backwards. Okay, that window is on the bottom of the roof or in the middle, right? Let's see. It's in the middle. So that's not the same. Whatever whatever this whole thing. Oh, you know what it is? Oh, I know what they did. They took this is the original, but it was higher, and they lowered it and put it in the center.
Oh yeah, they took that whole section out with like that was yeah. I know what you mean, and they lowered it down.
Yep.
And actually, you're right. It does say that. It does say something about them lowering a piece of it in here. You're right. You're 100% right.
That's what they did. That window is original, but it's lowered. It's not in the original spot.
Yeah.
That thing had 4 clocks on it at one time. Where did the clocks go? Why did they remove them?
Yeah, this is what it says here. During World War II, check this out. During World War II, the Crimson reported, that's their newspaper, the Harvard newspaper is called the Crimson, because the red color. During World War II, the Crimson reported the Great Hall was being used in wintertime for the 6 o'clock in the morning calisthenics of the military chaplain's school. Well, it's explaining why. I know that wasn't the military. Damn, what happened? All right. Well, anyway, yeah, that's what they were saying.
Let's see.
I lost the rest of it, but yeah. So the military was using the basement, dude.
Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this now? Are you seeing that?
Where? The statue?
Are you seeing the building and I'm moving in and out?
No.
What do you see on the screen right now?
It's just a picture and it's just still. It's not moving in and out for me. But maybe it is for you. On your side.
Okay, let me I'm trying to switch.
That'd be cool if you could move them.
I see what I did. Okay. I see what I did. Tell me when you see this.
Yeah, it's moving now.
Okay.
Oh, you did it. You got it to work. Nice. Now it's really like mudding on Beags, man. Mudding with Beags.
There you go.
That's how your shows always are. You're always zooming in and out, man.
Yeah. Okay, what they did was they moved this window from up here down to the center, and it actually, it looks right. It looks like it was always like that, but we know from the historical evidence from the photographs that there was a clock right here. And we also know that there was an anomaly which looks like a window, which actually looks like this window here. So they moved this down here and removed the clock on all 4 sides.
That's crazy. And it almost, for me, when I was looking at that, I was like, it almost looks like somebody lives up there. Like, whose bedroom is that? Like a princess? Do they have like a princess living in the top? Look, is that, yeah, there it is.
That's your window. That's what's there now.
Is that big thing the clock?
That's the clock.
And it's on every side.
It's on every side.
Oh, yep. I didn't even notice that one. I noticed another one with a clock on it that's missing. So.
Yep, I think they removed it. And also there's been speculation that these clocks were not clocks, that they were some sort of gauge.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true, but it's a speculation that's going around. I mean, through speculation, we can learn things.
The astrological clocks are really cool, man. But those are all disappearing too.
Oh, yeah.
There's only a few left. It shows that they knew exactly where our time and space and exactly.
You know, another thing that you can do is, you see how when you're looking at these old pictures, you can also look at like stuff like here. Okay, get that in your mind and remember this, right? And then we'll go backwards and we'll look around and see if it's changed, which it looks the same there. I'd say it's probably the same there. We can't see it in this one. But that's something you can look at too, is how it. Let me look at the video and see if I can see it on the video.
I couldn't even get over there. It was like fenced off. This was like a highway, and the way to get in started in the back there. So like where this, you can almost see where it's almost like you can walk under there, like where the, you know, it's open. I couldn't get on that side no matter which way I tried. It was like off limits or something.
Okay, I gotta let me can you see that picture of that window? You probably can't see it.
I see the big castle.
Okay, hold on. Let me do something here. Okay, I'm gonna give me a second. I'm readjusting here. Okay, you should see it in a second.
Yes.
Okay, that is that window that we're looking at here, right here.
Wow, you're good, Beags. I would have never thought of that.
Do you notice anything? Do you notice anything? I'm seeing something, and I don't know if
it looks a little different. What is it? A line on the top? No.
Look at that, the dark. You remember the blue brick?
Yeah.
Okay, look for that blue brick.
So you think the blue brick's a paint job? Oh yeah, that's just the dark blue. Yeah. So
Okay, look, this has got a double line and then a dark line at the bottom. You got this piece here. I think I see this, but I don't seem to see this, or this.
Yeah, it's just regular brick.
I mean, I don't see it. It looks like this is the best picture. No, not this one. Wait a minute. I guess this is the best picture, but I don't see that line. The double line right here. I can't tell about the bottom one, but that I don't see the double line too good.
Someone must have came along and painted that blue stuff on that and all the other color on that whole building. That would be a lot. That would take a lot. That building was really high up, and there's blue going around the whole thing, the roof part and everything. That color, it goes.
Every one of them's painted because you got the grout is a different color, so they'd have to paint each individual brick separately. That would be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, they must. It's done. It looks really nice. It like the building looks like it's striped. You know, from far away, it looks like it's striped in bricks. That's why I was like.
Notice anything about the roof? Look at the roof design. At the tile.
Oh yeah. It looks a little different. Wait a.
It looks a.
That other one.
Oh, I see something else missing. Look at the top of the ridge on this roof right here.
Yeah.
Okay, you see this? Okay, look at that here.
This has more stuff, more fencing almost.
It's got ether fencing on it.
Yeah.
They removed it.
They removed it, and they left some of it up on the other parts. They're probably going to remove it all eventually. And actually, that other roof looked nicer than the one they have on it now. So it's almost like they put a more plain roof that doesn't look as fancy, and they took that fencing off when they must have changed the roof. And they probably scrapped it and got a bunch of money for the scrap. Well, not a bunch of money, but it stinks. Like I would love to have a piece of that stuff just to look at it and see what it's made out of, the different pieces, whatever. The antiquitech. and they just probably just scrap it and just melt it down. They probably don't even know what it is when they get it at the scrapyard.
Yeah, you know, when you go back and forth, you know, you can see, the more you look at it, the more you'll see. You know, it's
changed.
You know, you really got to just you focus on one spot, right? And you check it, you know, you go and you look what does it look like on the old photograph, you know? You know, because it's amazing what the things they change. It really is.
Yeah. Dude, this is going to be an amazing stream. Everyone's going to love this, dude.
I mean, that is really cool. That, I mean, I want to know where that clock went. I mean, why did they remove it? What was
about it in the construction?
When did they remove it? You know?
I know. When is this picture even from? Like, I've heard theories on some of the pictures are really even older than, like, from a different time. Like, you know, they recycle everything. They recycle the stories.
Oh, yeah.
They recycle the pictures.
Yeah, I think a lot of the old pictures are old world pictures. I think they just found them and used them.
Yeah.
I think that's why we have construction photos of these buildings, is because they were old world construction photos. You know?
I have trouble finding construction photos on a lot of the buildings. I just started searching for construction photos. Like,
you'll
recently.
get better at that. You'll get better at finding those. I don't focus on them because they're so. It's so easy to manipulate the photos. I mean, if those are old world photos, you know, what are we looking at? You know, because people go, "Oh, we have construction photos." Yeah, you have construction photos, but are they from the time that were supposedly took the photo? You know, were the photographs older? You know, I mean, they can Photoshop. I mean, it's like, are these guys actually in this picture? I don't know. They might have been Photoshopped in.
Last night I heard you say the dude looks like his mom dressed him. I was laughing. I was watching your stream last night, and you were like, "Look at this dude. He looks like his mama dressed him."
Hey, you gotta throw a little shit talking in there somewhere. I don't know. I try to have fun with it. You know, there's a lot of there's not a lot, but I mean, there's some people in our community that are too damn serious about this stuff that it's like you know, we're not scholars, we're not credentialed, we're not, you know, lettered colleagues here. We're just everyday Joes that are finding, you know, the anomalies in our universe and pointing them out. And we got to take ourselves with a grain of salt. We can't be so damn serious about everything, because, you know, that the people that are so serious about this are the ones that we're trying to fight. So I'm not trying to be those people.
I always joke around I try to make, like, I take this stuff really seriously. But if you watch my mud flood adventures, you always see me cracking jokes and messing around, and like I get off topic and I go like way off, like go someplace else and start filming like turkeys or ducks or something. Like I try to make it like fun and enjoyable, and still get the information in there and make it so people want to watch it too. So, because like it can get boring just looking at buildings over and over again. So you got to kind of like throw some comedy in there, mix it up.
That's why I do some of the videos that I do. They're not meant to be, you know, mud flood research. They're just to have a damn good time, you know. They're just to have fun. You know, some people are like, "Oh my God, I don't understand. What am I not getting?" It's like there's nothing to get. It's just a laugh. Enjoy it. You know, sometimes it's just fun.
We're investigators and we're researchers. Okay, so there's some of us that do like really good research and really good on the computer and look things up and can find some really good pictures and photos that none of us could ever find and figure things out. And then there's some of us like me that actually go out and do the investigating, and that way you guys point us in the right direction. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's good. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
And then when we can come together like this on a stream, and I can bring my research, and then we can all do it together, it's even better, man. I love sharing my research. You know what I mean? And
it's like you might not pick up on it, but in my videos, I'll put out a word to like in certain pictures, I'll say, you know, such and such, and I'll put in a little code that says go check out this, and people don't realize I'm actually telling people out there to go, you know, certain people to go look at things, and so it's what's that place called? Memorial
Hall Sanders Auditorium.
Harvard University. Okay. I'm looking on the hold on, I'll share this with you. Let's see. Here we go. Let me know when you see this.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. When you're looking on, this is a digital archive example. This is the Library of Congress digital archive,
Yep,
and I'm looking on here, and you know, I've got information here. Date created, published 1904. So this image was taken in 1904. It was taken by the Detroit Publishing Company. It gives a location. You can find information here if you're, you know, if you're gonna.
You got to read between the lines on some things, and you'll figure it out.
It tells you what kind of negative, dry plate negative there. But anyways, if you want the high resolution, it's that sucker right there, the TIFF. Okay, and what you have to do if you need that image, you hit that sucker right there. Okay, and it'll ask you to what you want to do, if you want to open it or if you want to save it. What if I was wanting to save it, I would push save and okay, and then what you want to do is you want to open that sucker in Microsoft Paint, and then you want to change the format to PNG. Okay, because this TIFF is bullshit. You don't want that. Yeah. But the TIFF is a large format, but then you can change it to PNG and get the same resolution. But I can open that and look at it right here.
Yeah, go ahead, explain it. But I can probably figure it out, but I'm using a cell phone, and I end up taking screenshots. I'm Johnny Screenshot. I just screenshot everything.
How you like that?
But it works fine for now. But until I
see
get I see a black screen.
You see a black screen? Oh, hold on, ho. Wait a minute.
I was seeing it for a while.
I know. I forget what I'm doing. Let me know when you see it.
Yep.
Check this out.
Oh.
There's your window.
You got in really close, dude. That's even like closer than I could see from the street with my camera. Wow.
How you like them apples?
Look, you can see the stuff right there. Look at that stuff, man. The antiquitech and those spires and that. Look, those look different. Oh no, those are them. The same ones. So that stuff has been there, man. That stuff is old. So that stuff just stands the test of time, man. It spins in the wind and just stays like that.
Check that out.
Yeah, that's gone, right? That's all gone.
That's gone.
That's probably made out of metal, copper.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
This building is like amazing to look at. There's just so much. And there's probably stuff we didn't even look at. Yeah, that's the side I couldn't get to. That side that's open right there. I wanted to go see. It was like fenced off, wicked bad. Like, who are these people?
Yeah.
They're just having they're like having a romantic evening by looking at this thing like, oh.
Hey, is that still there? Is that fence still there?
Oh, wow. That's the part that I couldn't get over to. So I don't know. I got to go check that out. They have that blocked off and they have a tree in front of it. Yeah, this whole pod, it was like I couldn't get in there. There was a big fence, and it was like fenced off, and then the highway kind of cut in right there. So, oh, those windows the same? I took pictures of the windows. I took pictures of all the windows. But there is a lot. I was just going crazy, like just pressing the button, like snap, 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 just taking tons of pictures.
So you need a computer. Are these still there? Are these still lights still there?
Yeah, there's lights like that, but I'm not sure 100 on those ones, those particular ones. I know there was a little piece of cobblestone, like right here when I walked in, like there was cobblestone. I wonder if that was all cobblestone or what, because it wasn't all cobblestone now. It was just a little strip of cobblestone left, and I was like, but in Faneuil Hall in Boston, the whole street is still cobblestone. I was there too, like last week. Harvard seems to have a real lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find another picture to download and look at.
Yeah, Memorial Hall, man.
Let's see. Oh. I'm gonna have to switch the screen here. Let me know when you see this.
Yeah, I can see.
Is that different?
Yeah, it's a different. I think it's a different picture. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you got the window, the rose window.
Look at the size of that door.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying about having somebody beside the door so you can get a scale?
Yep. It looks like a giant could fit in there, and it's steps going up to it, so it probably went even lower. It's probably even bigger.
Yep.
Yep. And this whole thing, these look like doorway, like the ones on the lower level.
See how that window opens right there? That's part of the ventilation system.
Yep.
That's part of a wind catcher.
I heard you talking about that last night, how something about they had this wind tunnels going through the whole place, right?
Right. The air would come in the top, the cool air, and it would transfer through these different they had like parts of the building were designed to move the air. It's like compartments, and the air would move through the building, and then they would use the windows a lot of times it's these, and sometimes it's the portals, and they would use those as like controls, like thermostat controls for how much air they wanted to go in certain areas, and it would regulate the temperature and bring in fresh air. And they had a much milder climate back then, and so it would regulate the air. It wasn't like air conditioning like we have today, but it would regulate the air.
It makes sense, man, because if in a building like that, if it was like hot out, how would you get any air? It would be stuffy if you were in like the middle of that building. You need a way to get air in there, so they had to do it some way. But they did everything. They did everything a lot smarter than we did.
You know, it's interesting also that they didn't just remove the clock, they removed this whole piece here.
And that looks like a pyramid at the top of the clock, or a triangle. But
I wonder if that's still there. Is that still on the building?
It looks like they probably used the tip of that triangle as the top of that window that's there, right? Because the window's like a triangle shape. They probably put the window there and blocked the rest of it off somehow.
They went and they took this whole piece off, including the clock, and they took this window out, moved it down, reframed it, and put the window in, and then put new slate shingles on there.
That whole thing is gone. That whole triangle piece is not there.
Yeah, they totally changed it. I mean, it's cool today, don't get me wrong, but I'm sorry, it was cooler in the past.
It looked better, yeah, before. They made it more plain, like more box-like, less of a intricate design.
Yep.
Yep. it's probably because they can't do it. They can't make it as nice as they had it before. So it needed repairs. They say here that it got renovated in like the 1950s.
Oh, that picture is from 1899.
Yeah, they said
that's
there
an
was
old
a fire.
picture.
There was a fire in the 1950s, and then they renovated it. And they probably, when they renovated it, they probably made it. They probably tried to get the best people they probably could, right? Because they're Harvard, so they probably got money. So they're probably like, listen, we're gonna find the best people that can do this type of design, the best people in the world. They probably got, and then they probably still couldn't make it as good as it was before. So they just did the best they could. It looks all right, but
I think you had this picture here, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, no, I had one from that angle, but it wasn't that picture because the fence was different. That fence is different than. It's either not there. Well, it wasn't there in my picture, that fence. But that's the triangle. That was the tip of the triangle at the beginning.
Is this wording still there?
Yep, but it might be different. Oh, that says Semper. I can read that. Semper something. Right there, Semper. Semper. Yep. So that was, I couldn't read that when I was there, but it looked like it was like some of the letters were missing, but some of them were still there. But it looked like all Roman numerals to me. Like I couldn't read it. Oh, look at that cross. I didn't notice that in the brick right there. That right there. I didn't notice that when I was there. But and then in the other pictures either. But maybe. There's a lot on this building. I tried to take it section by section.
It's incredible.
It is, right? Glad I brought it here to you, man. Because
you see that ivy there?
Yeah.
That takes a long time to get up on that building.
Yeah, I tried to grow ivy on my building before, and it didn't really work.
That picture is from 1900.
I noticed a lot of things happened in 1907. Even in this thing's narrative, it said 1907 something. They always use the year 1907. 1907. Start looking for it. When you see 1907, you'll think of me. You'll be like, oh,
yep.
There's another 1907. Look at that horse and buggy.
Yeah, what's this? Check this out. Okay, you got this pipe going up here, right? And it's got it going over here, and then it's doing something, right? And it's got this barrel thing. It's like this is some sort of water that's putting water out.
Yeah, what is he doing, dude? I know it's important to see what these people are doing when we get them in a picture.
Dude, that's going up, and that's a water fixture, and it's you can almost see water draining there, and this is a barrel of water. This is probably the guy that they would put out water on the dirt roads to keep the dust down, and that's probably what his job is. But I think it's very interesting that you have a water filler right here in front of this.
Yeah, and that's the triangle. You can tell that's the tip of the triangle with the streets. They said it's a triangle of streets that go around it. It's called.
And here, you can actually go and find this angle, right, and find this corner, right, and then go and see what's right there. What is there today? Check that out right there. What is that?
Yeah, it looks like a light, but it's not, right? What is it?
I don't know what that is. It's a corner post, but it's not a light.
Oh yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. Sometimes it kind of reminds me of like a thing that you would pull for a fire alarm, like the old ones that used to be on the side of the street, but not really.
And you see how they have railing right there?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's different than what was in the other picture. I didn't see that fence when I was there. There was no fence. So they took the fence out.
They took this out.
Yep. I don't think.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. They took a lot of the fences out. That they said that it was for the war effort because they needed the medals for the war, but I think they were trying to get rid of the technology.
Yeah, the fences were definitely tech, and now people see like the design on a fence, and they don't realize it wasn't really meant ever to be a design. It was always technology. That's why the fences are designed like that. That's why they look like that, like tech. But now they just think it's like a common fence design. You know,
Yeah,
it's a trip.
that's incredible. It's
I couldn't believe this building was like right in front of me. I was like, this is like the stuff I see online where people are showing these buildings, and I actually have. There's so many of them around, but this one, it was like this one takes up like almost like 2 or 3 blocks on it, 4 blocks on its own, man.
yeah, it's incredible. There's no doubt. I got another one here. You see the dude?
Yeah, he was there. The statue was still there. I got him in another video, but the other day I don't know. I just wasn't.
You know, I've actually heard a weird story about, I think, this statue, but I don't remember what it was. You might want to look into the history of this statue. I don't know why, but
That's Harvard. That's actually the statue of John Harvard himself, the guy who started the whole university. That's supposed to be him.
that's a flat Earth asterisk right there. You see the vertical, the horizontal, and the X, and
Yep.
that's probably one there too.
It's just everywhere here. Everything. It's just every little piece you got to look at and inspect every little section by itself and figure it out. Like they could probably read it because they know it's easy for them to read. It's their language. But for us, we got to like try to decipher.
This represents the vesica piscis right here. This is the joining of the male and the female energy right here. One represents the male, one represents the female, and combined they create the male and the female.
And that thing up at the top. And you notice that the Roman numeral 4 is like kind of all right. A lot of people have been pointing this out, right? The Roman numeral 4 is 3 lines, right? But whatever happened, I mean 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, right? What happened to the 1 before the V? The Roman numeral 4, right? Don't you remember? Do you ever remember it being a 1 before a V?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 before a V was 4. Well, on all these clocks, they just got 4 lines for 4. And that's kind of weird. Like, I remember learning my Roman numerals in school, and 4 was a 1 before a V, and then 5 was a V.
Yeah. I'm not good with Roman numerals, but you are right. It would be the reverse of this, of the 6. Yeah.
Well, people
right here.
People are saying it's a Mandela effect, that all the clocks got Mandela affected and changed. Like, and you can't. It's hard to find a Roman numeral. Start looking when you start, because you do this research.
Yeah.
When you see these clocks, look at the Roman numeral and look for that 1 before the V and see if you can find it.
Yeah, I've never noticed that before. That's interesting. I did notice something while you were telling me that, though, that I bet you haven't even noticed yet. Let's see if you can figure this one out. What do you see differently there that's not there today? They changed something. Something really big.
I don't know. I can't really tell because there's words in front of it. Right there on the sides, there's like little nods coming down the sides. Are those still there? Are those gone?
I don't know. That's a good question, but that's not what I'm pointing out. I'll tell you what they changed here. This used to have a metal roof, not slate.
Oh, right now it has that slate roof.
You see those lines? That is a metal roof. That is not slate.
Yeah, and then now it looks like it's all striped. And it doesn't look striped there at all.
That's not a stripe. That's a rib. It's called a metal rib. That is a metal roof. So it originally had a metal roof, and I bet you dollars to donuts it was copper.
And it was, and you know what they said? It was burnt in the fire during 1872. So that was the Great Fire that you were talking about, the Great Fire of Boston that you were talking about last night. this thing got caught in that fire somehow.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Let's go with their narrative. If they say that this roof was replaced because of the Great Fire, how did the clock burn and the roof burn and the windows survive?
I know, because those are the same, right? It boggles the mind, man. And how did the Great Fire in Boston reach to Cambridge? It probably did, if you look, but the whole place was wrecked like that, I think, and they found it. Those are like the first pictures. The Great Fire photos are like the pictures of how the place was when they found it, and they cleaned it up after that. And then they're like, "Oh, just those are the Great Fires."
See, that is a slate roof there, but the original clock roof was a metal roof. You see how they do us?
Yeah. And for some reason that looks more etched out than in like I don't know.
This picture is from between 1890 and 1899.
It looks like there's way more detail in this picture than when I was there in my picture. Like all around the things on the sides, the little what do they call those, conical roof type looking things on the sides, the cones. Those look like they're more etched out around the edges. It looks like there's more design around the trim, and right there, it looks like it's more like flat and just brick now, like more boxy.
Yep. I'm as you're talking, I'm looking for more pictures here.
It might be because you zoomed in better on this picture than on the my pictures, but because my picture from a cell phone camera. But I got
no. I went and got the large format pictures.
Yeah, so you could see better.
That's what I've done. I cheated.
Well, that's good though.
I went and got the big picture. You found a low resolution image. So I'm cheating in that. Let me know when you see that. See a different picture?
Yeah. It's nice.
There's that railing in the this is, now remember, this is a postcard. Okay, so you can't the colors, you have to ignore the colors. But it gives you an idea. It'll give you an idea of what was there, but it's not accurate. This is high resolution. This is
it's basically like when they first started adding color to pictures, and they were like, "Hey, look, we can sell you a postcard that's in color now." Right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, I get it.
And they didn't tell the artist what color the building was. They would just send it to them, and the artist would color it whatever color. Because I've seen the colors were in no way, shape, or form what matched the buildings. So this was not green. I imagine that this was probably a copper roof here. That's my guess.
It would be like a coloring book, dude. If you had that as a job, I would love it. Like they give you like a crayon, and you can like color over. Like, yes, I'll make build any color I want.
I mean, it's a beautiful photograph. It's a beautiful painting, but it's not true. It's not real. Hey, here's something else I'm seeing. Okay, you remember? Okay, there's those, and this has got those things on the roof. I guess I guess this is the same. Never mind. Yeah, that's the same. But that's it's interesting, that was done in 1900.
Yeah, I can't find nothing from like 1600, but all the buildings around there have 1600 something, 1645, something like that etched in them. I seen it, so it doesn't make any sense. Their whole narrative on this whole place, and it would be hard to get anything out of them because if you think about it, Harvard is known for like the secret societies, like. Right? The secret societies at Harvard, Yale, Oxford. That's where it all starts with those fraternities and things like that. So they keep it a secret, and they're good at it. So they
Oh well, they've got a picture in here from they call it Old Boston Townhouse Square, about 1657, and they won't let me look at it.
Yeah, there was a few that they wouldn't let me look at, but I still screenshotted them anyway. But they couldn't get that good of a picture. You got the good high resolution. I need to get a computer. Your pictures are nice.
Yeah, I'm searching to see if I can find anything in the archives, but it's not giving me nothing. They're not letting you see nothing.
You can't find much, right? I couldn't find many pictures of this place either. I searched it every which way, and it's all pretty much the same images. Nothing with any people in it. Nothing that you can really. Nothing. No construction photos. It just there. This building's just been there. They didn't build it. It's been there. You know.
Yep.
I'm happy that I brought it to you when we researched it. It's good, you know, and I feel better about it now. I was gonna do it all by myself, but
there's things here, but they're not letting you see really anything that's they're not letting you see much. It's like postcards and paintings and crap like that. I'm not seeing anything that's not yet. That's.
I don't believe they built that in the 1800s. No way. No way. There's no way they built this building, and that building's been there. They inherited it, and they know it. And they're just trying to cover it up that they inherited it.
Everything I'm finding, they're saying you have to go to the Library of Congress to look at it.
Yeah, you know, there was one church that I looked up before that's right up the street from me. It's a big Gothic church like this one, and they said a Roman Catholic, I don't know, a Gothic style Romanesque or something like that. Yeah. So anyway, I was looking it up and I was trying to get, you know, information on it because I took pictures of it, and they said I had to call the archdiocese to get any information about that particular church. It kept giving me all the churches that looked like it.
They're not going to give you nothing. We have to be rebels here. You know, we are we're rebels. We can't go through proper channels. We have to trick them. You know, we have to go behind their back and look in ways that they don't expect. We ain't going through the front door is what I'm saying. You know. I found a little something here. It's not a picture, but it's interesting. You ever seen this thing? The Tribune Building.
Oh, where is that? It's in Boston.
Let me see. It says. Oh wait, I gotta find out where I found it. I lost where I found it.
I never seen a building like that around here. But if it's here, I'll go there.
Here we go. This is from 1873, Boston. The new Tribune Building, Printing House Square, Nassau, Chatham, Spruce, and Frankfurt Streets. H. Clawson, creator Armstrong and Company, Boston, Massachusetts. I don't. Is that in Boston? What is that?
To me, that sounds like it's downtown somewhere. But that's a pretty big building.
Are these streets in Boston? Do you know these names?
Yeah, those are streets.
Square, Nassau, Chatham, Spruce, and Frankfurt Streets.
100%. Yep. Those are all downtown, somewhere near Beacon Hill, kind of near State Street, but like in the downtown area somewhere.
Check that out.
Yeah, it's a big slope, man. First of all, because if you can tell it's a slope from in a picture, then you know it's a even bigger slope. Because when you take
that same guy that we were just looking at.
Wow. Is this that?
Look at that.
It looks like him.
I know that. I mean, it's like
savings bank right there.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea, but I mean, I'm wondering, you know,
because it
check that out.
Wow. Yeah, man. I'm gonna look for this building. It's probably still there, but it's probably changed, or it's probably mixed in with some other buildings, and you don't really notice it.
Okay, it's called the New Tribune Building. I'm gonna search that and see what I find. Maybe it'll come up.
There's so many buildings like this in Boston. Yes, I mean they said the name of the street, but that sounds like it's in this. There's like a downtown Boston. There's like a whole section where it's just blocks and blocks of streets and like one ways that you go around in squares. And I bet you that's where it is, somewhere around there. But there's another section that I want to go to too that I was in that I seen a lot of big buildings like that. There's a bunch of parts of Boston I haven't covered yet, but I plan on covering the whole city. Like how you were saying you want to cover a whole city. Well, with me, it started out with the Freedom Trail. I started doing Paul Revere's ride. There's something in Boston called the Freedom Trail. And when Paul Revere did his ride, when he was like, the Redcoats are coming or whatever,
Yeah.
he took a certain route. And the whole Freedom Trail has all the different places that he stopped, supposedly Paul Revere on, and it's like a red line that they drove through the whole city. So I basically started covering that. I pretty much covered almost the whole thing, and now I've been going to other parts of Boston that I haven't covered yet. And there's so much.
Okay, this is in Manhattan. That I was looking for the research, and they say this is in Manhattan.
Remember, I told you Manhattan looks like Boston. It does. I was there. It really does. All the city, it looks like Manhattan looks like a bigger Boston, like a huge Boston. New York is.
Okay, so I bet this is not in Boston.
No.
I bet this is in New York.
I never seen it, but
I neither. I mean,
I'd be surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. There's so many buildings, man. I mean, I'm in the city, and it's just all buildings like that, and so it's weird how they blend them in. That's all I gotta say. You don't notice them unless you're really looking, and you gotta look up at the top too, because all this cool stuff is always on the higher levels. I noticed on these big buildings, there's always gremlins and like all kinds of stuff. Like I found a Dogman gremlin looking thing, you know.
wow.
On the top of one of the buildings.
You know that I think I found pictures of it on yeah, I think I did. Yeah, this is it. It's in New York. That's in New York. But it's that thing's cool.
It looks like a factory with basically like a church clock, a bell tower with a factory.
That's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. That's something else.
And how it is on the slope, and it's got a lot of people around it. And usually these type of pictures don't have nobody in them. It's hard to find people. There's a lot. There's horses and everything.
There's angels in our community that are behind the scenes that they don't want to watch what's on the mainstream TV. They want to see the content that we're trying to provide, but they also understand that we don't have the means to do it. And so they're trying to help us. And so I will tell you from my personal experience, there are people behind the scenes that are looking for people like you and I to help us. And so do your best job, do the best you can with what you got, but let the community know what your limitations are. And if you do a good enough job, somebody will find you is what I'm trying to tell you. Well, tell me exactly what you would like to do in a nutshell with your channel, like real quick. Like if you had the technology to do what you want to do, what would you do with it in a nutshell?
Well, I still enjoy doing my going out and running around and mud flood investigating, but I want to make my own show, dude. Like a mud flood show where I could have different people from the community, like yourself and other researchers, come on. And
interviews.
Interviews, show whatever research they want. We could pool our research together and just whatever, make like a mud flood, like it's a mud flood show, dude. That would be awesome. And like have people. I want to do this, right? eventually, like, we have people all over the world, right? So, like, we should be able to, like, if one of us is researching a certain thing and following a certain rabbit hole and we need someone to go investigate something, we should be able to send somebody else from the other side of the world to go to that spot and get us some pictures and figure it out. And that would be cool if there was enough of us together to do this research together, because it's so hard for one person to just do it all. Like, there's so much, and they're covering this thing up, like, day by day. I notice things just keep changing. They're facading over everything. They're taking it all away. So it's important that we get it done while we see it. There was antiquitech on the house up the street, and it's gone now. And I got a picture of it, luckily, from last summer, and I was able to show you that it was there, and now it's gone. But once it's gone, you can never really prove that it was there unless you have a picture of it.
Right. So you want to do boots on the ground? You want to do interviews? Do you want to make documentary style videos?
Yeah, I kind of do. They need some.
Okay.
I love documentaries.
Is this something that you know how to do, or is this something you'll have to learn?
I've had some, dude. I'm good at video editing and putting things together.
Okay.
And I want to be able to make more music too, because this community, there's not a lot of musicians. There's a lot of musicians, but there's a lot of people who need music too. Like, I made the song for Jen, the Truth Seeker, 69. She has a song I made for her intro now. I've been making songs for a lot of people. There's a lot of songs that I've been making in this community, in the Flat Earth community, and that people are using them for their shows. And
yeah, the guy I was talking to Calum Wilkinson the other day, and I just mentioned to him we're going to have this chat, and he goes, "Oh yeah, he's the guy that did that Flat Earth song." I'm like, "Huh?" I didn't know what he was talking about. But I went and listened to it, but I didn't know. I had not heard that. And
yep. I got the Flat Earth Anthem, and I made another one too.
Anthem, that's what he called it, yeah.
The Flat Earth Anthem.
Yeah.
And you know what else? People, man, that was awesome, man. I made this song called the Flat Earth Anthem. I didn't think it was going to become much. I rap. I grew up rapping. I can rap. But I'd stopped rapping for a long time. I made a Flat Earth Anthem, and then everyone loved it, right? And then this channel, Holistic Media, she makes, like, really awesome music videos, man. Like, she puts together, like, classic rock, all kinds of different stuff, and makes truther videos out of them with lyric videos. And she was like, "Let me make you a lyric video." Okay. She made me a lyric video, and she put it in 432 hertz.
Wow.
And all the lyrics are there, and it came out really good. Everybody loves it, man. And it just shows you that, like, the people love the music so much that they want to be part of it. You know, they want to. She's making another lyric video for me right now, and I'm making more music. And I've been working on music with all kinds of people from the community. Watch, you'll see. I got some good stuff coming up. I've been doing collaborations with people. We're working on all truther songs, truther music, stuff that you know, people can play during their shows, during breaks, during the outro, intro, whatever. It's like, you want to play a song, here, play it, go for it. You're not gonna get a copyright. Don't worry about it. You know, like, copyright.
I've had a lot of help from people in the community doing manipulating video and working making pictures for me, and like LC King worked with the audio on my opening credits, and he helped me with the video on that to do some things, and Calum Wilkinson helped, and you know, it's a community effort. There's people behind the scenes that are working together that, you know, they don't see us coming.
LC King could play guitar really good too, and he came on my friend's show, Awesome Austin. He came on his show one time. He showed us the whole electrical universe, the whole electrical earth thing.
Yep.
And, yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's a smart cat.
Yeah.
Yep, he's good people. Yeah, there's quite a few people out there that are willing to help in any way. I've had housewives go and search pictures for me because they wanted to help. They contact me, say, "Hey, how can I help?" And I'm like, "Well, can you do this?" "Yeah, sure." They go do it, and you know,
oh, awesome.
It's amazing.
When I go into, like, I read John Levi's chats, like his comments, and the people leave the funniest comments in his It's like I love his John Levi's comment section, man.
It's pretty good. He reads it all. He reads it also. He doesn't comment, you know, on everything, but he definitely reads it.
He's aware of it.
Yeah. He gets a little bent out of shape, I think, but he is aware of it. He takes it a little too seriously sometimes, I think. But it's yeah. He's got a lot on his shoulders, I think.
One time I left him a comment, I was like, he doesn't even know who I am because it says Michelle, and I'm like, John Levi, don't worry, you don't have to read your comments. I checked them all for you. Do you know how many comments he has, dude? There's no way I could check all his comments for him.
No. No. Hey, and Martin too. I mean, it's no way. It's too much.
Yeah.
I'm still small, so I enjoy. I can read them and I can, you know, respond and, you know.
Yeah, I get it. I'm still small too, but I've been noticing now that I'm getting a little bit bigger that I'm getting a lot more comments, and it's taking a lot more time to respond to them. But I still try to respond to everybody except for the show.
Get in touch with Campbell, because Campbell's always looking for guests for his show.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Autodidactic, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I watch him a lot. I didn't know he was really looking for guests for the show. I'd love to go on his show.
Campbell's always looking for material. Always. He does so many shows, so many videos. He's always looking for material. He's always looking for guests. So reach out.
I will. I'll start going into talking to him because I'm trying to get on as many shows as I can, man, and get my channel up there because I really do good research, man.
Get in touch with Iron Real Media too.
Oh yeah, I have been. I was on a show with him last night. 2 nights ago, we did a show, Breaking the Chains of Addiction, and it was a good show on Awesome Austin's channel. And I was on a show with one of the dudes from Iron Realm. Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's another one too. And they did a show this morning. Their show was early, man. But I was there this morning at like 5 a.m.
Yeah, they do 2 shows a week. One's later than the other. Yeah. Yeah.
I was at the early show this morning, man. I've been going all day. You know, ever since you told me you were gonna have me on, man, that next day I was like, I need something good. I need something good for Stuffed Beagle. I went out and I found that. I went out and took all the pictures, and then all week I've been trying to figure out get the Zoom thing working. I edited everything. I prepared for this show, man. I didn't just come on and just fuck around. You know what I mean? I came on. I brought my A game for Stuffed Beagle.
Well, you know, I knew you were doing all that, and I was like, great, because I don't have the time. I'll just go with what he's got.
It's all right, though. It's fun, man. I enjoyed it. Dude, I was out there having a blast, dude. It was cold out, but I was running around, like, taking pictures, man. I love it, man. I love being out there. Dude, the other day I made a video. There was a huge fire down the street from my house. And the mainstream media was there, and the police had the whole thing roped off, and I was live, and I walked down there, and I pretended I was one of the press. Like I was one of I walked all the way down past, and I filmed the whole thing. I interviewed the fire chief, dude. I was there for every time they went live on the news. I was filming the news, dude. You should check it out. It was fun. I have fun on my live streams too. Some days I just do random stuff, but I try to switch it up, you know. I mix a lot of Mudflood stuff in. I have I have a huge Mudflood playlist that I made on my channel with I put you in there. I put everybody. It's like over 400 videos, and it's got everybody from our community, you know. And so if you're ever looking for any good Mudflood stuff, go to the Mudflood playlist on my channel, and you'll find your way. You'll find your way somewhere. You know,
that's cool.
CRS, he's got a good channel. I love.
Yeah, I like his work. Yeah, yeah.
I like Bill Miller.
Yeah, I've chatted with him. He's a good guy. Yeah.
His channel is awesome too. He'll
do an interview with you Send him a
I know.
message. He'll do an interview with you.
I don't know if he has it set up to take people yet. He might have. He might have it set up by now. I remember when I talked to him about it a few weeks ago or a couple months ago, he was just getting his live stream, like figuring out how to do it. So
yeah, he's in the process of it. Yeah.
But his videos look really good now. All of his stuff looks really nice, and I've been watching him. So
he's got a background in it too, so he's cheating. That was his background. He had that. I believe he actually has college training for that too. So he actually for editing and things. So he's got some skill. Yeah.
I used to go out with a girl who went to Ithaca College, where it's like a media school, and that's what she learned how to edit thing. And from being with her for like 9 months, she taught me how to edit. I already knew how to edit music and put sound together, but she taught me how to put video together just from like watching her do her homework. You know what I mean? Like her schoolwork. So that was worth it, you know?
Is your girlfriend, is she on board with your research, or is she kind of like
No, she loves the Mudfoot stuff, dude. She points out the buildings. Yeah, she points the buildings out to me and everything.
That's cool.
But she's afraid. She doesn't want to come on. Not afraid. She just doesn't like to come on the camera. Like I'm trying to get her to come on camera with me. And
I can understand that though. That I get that.
When I started doing this YouTube thing, she thought I was crazy. She's like, "What are you doing? You're gonna go on and talk to these crazy people?" You know? And I'm like, "Yeah."
I didn't want to do it. I actually when I was deciding what to do with this, I was talking to Caleb from Streets of Tartaria, and we were actually toying with the idea of me using a mask. And and he just, through talking to him, I don't know, I just decided not to go as I am. But I was originally going to wear a mask because I just didn't want to be out like this.
I wasn't sure if I was even gonna make a channel or anything. I thought I maybe upload a couple videos, maybe chat with a couple people, but I didn't think it was gonna become this. Now I don't think I can stop. I'm on YouTube like 24 hours a day almost. Like it's like constant. I'm off and on to YouTube, but not just YouTube, but Odyssey, BitChute, all of them. And I'm thinking about trying to get Rockfin going soon. Everybody seems to be moving over to Rockfin, but I need a computer for that. I need a better content, better stuff. I mean, my content's good, but I need like more, like I need to be able to live stream better. That's what I need. I need to be able to live stream with more people. And that's what I need a computer for. So
well, just, believe that it will happen, and it will happen. And just know that there are angels that are watching this. So just know that. I promise you.
Yeah. I
feel they are watching. And you just have to trust that. And it'll work out. Trust me. I will promise you it. We're important to people. More important than we even realize, I think. All right. Well, I'll make sure you get a PayPal link in there.
That would be awesome, dude. Because like anything I get from making anything off my channel, I'm gonna put towards getting a computer and getting my shit together. Like I really am, man. I'm enjoying this YouTube thing. I try to upload at least one video a day, but lately I've been doing like 2 videos a day. And I'm crazy because I go live at any minute because I won't wear a mask no matter where I go. So the minute anybody tries to tell me to wear a mask, I just put them. I go live now. I got Streamlabs on my phone. I just live. So like the other day, I was at the meat department at the deli trying to get meat, lunch meat and shit, like roast beef, all kinds of sliced meat, salami, and the dude was like, "I can't serve you unless you wear a mask." And I was like, "Are you serious? I'm disabled." And he was like, "I can't serve you unless you wear a mask." Wow. And then I pulled the camera out and I put him live on YouTube. And then the manager came over And it was this big whole thing, and then they ended up having to serve. They still served me, but if I didn't have the camera out, they wouldn't have served me. And like, you know, it's crazy now because you got to use the Civil Rights Act of 1964. You got to remember this, the Bill of Rights, the HIPAA law. You got to remember all these different laws now just to like go food shopping and get groceries to feed your family without a mask and breathe air, you know? So
That's crazy.
yeah, man. And I've been cracking down on the MBTA, dude. There's the bus around here, the local bus.
Yeah.
They all right, they have it saying it's a federal law that you have to wear a mask, right? But we looked up the law. It's not a law, it's a proclamation. So that's a executive order. It's a suggestion from your government that you do not have to follow. That's the definition of a proclamation. So it also says that it only applies to sick people. So the way it's written, it says like if you're sick, you have to wear a mask. But they're saying it's a federal law, which is illegal. That's the color of law. And they're discriminating. If you tell them that you're disabled, they still tell you you have to wear a mask. And the thing is, it's the public transit system. We pay them. Our tax dollars pay for that. So like our tax dollars pay their paycheck. They got it backwards. They're not doctors. They shouldn't be giving us medical advice. They're just public servants. They drive the bus, you know, if it wasn't for our taxes. So they have no right to be giving us orders on what we should be doing. We should be telling them what to do, you know? So, and I get in all these fights all the time on YouTube with these bus drivers, and I usually win. The other day, I had a big video where this is what the bus drivers do. They say, put on a mask. I'm disabled. They pull the bus over and stop. Everybody on the bus is trying to get home. They all look at you like, a dude tried to get in my face and fight me over it. Right on the live stream. I got in his face. I was ready to fight him. I almost got in a fight. And then the bus driver called the cops. I waited for the cops. The cops came and they escorted me to another bus, and my bus stop was only 2 stops away. I could have got off and walked home. And there was this old lady. I stayed anyway. And there was this old lady that they were messing with, and I was sticking up for her, man. She was like 85 years old, and they were trying to tell her she had to wear a mask, and I heard her say, "It's not right." You can hear it on the video. "I don't want to wear a mask. It's not right to have to wear a mask." And I was like, "You don't have to wear a mask." And I jumped in, and then the whole thing happened, and it was I made it on the video. You can watch it, but
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It already got like 200 views in it was like 2 days. It got like 200 views. It was like 100 views a day. But that was a big video for me. A lot of people liked it.
It's good. That's good stuff. There's nothing. I'm in the country. There's nothing to do out here. You know, so I don't. That's not even an option for me. But you know, I do what I can from where I'm. You know, my undisclosed location. You know, in the middle of the country.
I talk to people from down south, and they say you don't have to wear a mask there, and it's good. It's good there. There's no homeless people there. You can, you know, if you're homeless, someone will give you a couch to sleep on there. That's what they were telling me. I was like, there's no homeless people in South Carolina? They were like, no. I'm like, what do you guys do with all your homeless?
Yeah.
They were like, we give them a couch to sleep on. I was like, oh, that's good.
That's crazy. I remember going to Houston one time and seeing the homeless just lying down the side of the street in downtown, lying on the ground. It was so sad. Everywhere.
There's a lot of homeless in Boston, man. Bad. There's like a homeless epidemic in Boston. But I guess it's because it's a city, and there's a lot of help for them here. There is a lot of help for the homeless people here. I don't know. But I'd rather be homeless someplace warm, at least.
Yeah.
It's cold.
That's tough stuff. I don't know. I don't know. That's an unknown. I can't understand why all that happens, but there's a different story to each one of them. You know, it's not one reason. It's a billion reasons.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. But all right, let me get going.
Yeah.
I got to work in the morning, so.
It was awesome that you did this, man. Now we Muddin with Beags and Ray. Boom, baby.
Cool.
All right, man. We'll do this again, man.
It was a pleasure meeting you. We'll do it again.
Yeah, stay in touch, man.
All right? Man. We'll do. I'll see you.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery.
Welcome to the underground.
This is my kung fu, and it is strong.
See you later.